That was the worst thing I've ever seen in my life. You have no idea what the fuck you're doing. You didn't research anything. You're a performative weirdo. You are not the moral arbiter of the world. You do not get to decide what is good content. You are nothing. You're pathetic. You've never contributed to the world we have. We have real results, real lives, 50,000 people. Every guest that's been on the show. 25,000 hours in 12 months. You've done nothing. You'll never be remembered for anything. You're pathetic. You are 5 years ago, 10 years ago. We've all moved on. No normal person cares. And ladies and gentlemen, say it with me one last time.
This show is not for you, and that's okay.
See you in court.
But D'Angelo Wallace came for Turkey Tom in like 2019, and it went a lot like this. So I've already been on the other end of this. I've already crashed out talking about D'Angelo Wallace. I have insight that I think other people are not, they don't have, all right? I know how to navigate this guy's drama better now. So I'm going to try to explain what Caleb Hammer has done wrong here, because you're never going to win with D'Angelo Wallace's community. They do not like you. They're never going to like you. They're ideologically opposed to everything that you're doing. So you really have to try to navigate this differently. You're acting like this is your average commentary drama. It's not. D'Angelo Wallace collects another W. I mean, yeah, objectively he does. Let's take a look.
Named D'Angelo.
This is Diesel Patches, by the way.
Wallace was live streaming recently and decided to react to another YouTuber's content named Caleb Hammer. Based on a few video clips D'Angelo reacted to, he claimed that Caleb is sexist, racist, homophobic, and ableist. Now, if you've been on this channel for a while, you would know that.
And you're gonna see that over the course of D'Angelo Wallace's 4-hour video, there are things that I just fully, fundamentally fucking disagree with. And I'll point them out as we get to them. Specifically, his take on the type of content that Caleb makes being inherently misogynistic. I'm going to explain my position on that when we get there. I think I kind of dabbled in that last week. He still completely wins this entire encounter. Even if I disagree with every single point that D'Angelo Wallace makes, he still easily wins the entire encounter.
Not the biggest D'Angelo Wallace fan, and I only know of Caleb Hammer, but have never actually seen any of his videos. That said, not a fan of either, but this yummy my tummy slop piqued my interest. This will probably be a relatively short drama to cover. I got about 35 minutes to kill. No, wait. D'Angelo upload.
Yeah, I know. It's not going to be. You either have like an 8-hour stream, a 4-hour stream, and whatever the fuck this video is. The extra 41-minute video that came out after.
Uploaded another response video, and this one is 41 minutes long. Okay, well, had some stuff to do today, but maybe I can still make some time.
But Diesel, what about Caleb Hammer's video on D'Angelo Wallace?
Oh, I guess you're gonna have the exact same moment as me.
Oh, right. Let's see here.
Oh, it's 4 hours long! D'Angelo Wallace trying to cancel me. Keep in mind, I think the original title was I'm suing D'Angelo Wallace, which also made everything way worse.
Alright, so after witnessing the cinematic slop drama, I've compiled all the important shit together so we can determine which one of these handsome gentlemen won the internet battle.
Actually, you know what? I'm calling an audible. I don't usually do this. I want to watch the last video first. I want to start this off, and I think that within seconds you will realize why this drama is completely ridiculous. We're going to start... Fuck this. Fuck it, we're going off the script. We're starting with Caleb Hammer, and then we'll go back and find out what actually happened. Because I need to show you how Caleb lost.
I'm suing D'Angelo. So says Caleb Hammer, and
it's over. It's fucking over, chat. He announced he was going to sue D'Angelo Wallace prior to him even releasing his segment for just the live show.
I'm suing D'Angelo. So says Caleb Hammer in a live stream that took place on his channel.
And what comes after this is some of the most stupid, salty, rage-inducing comments.
With over 2.8 million subscribers, in which he delivered the single worst response I have ever received in the entire time I've been on the internet. This, for me, is like the equivalent of a ukulele apology or Shane Dawson screaming on a live stream. Caleb came in hot, okay? I'm suing D'Angelo is what he named the live after it ended. And funnily enough, it's not called that anymore. He's been trying to walk this back a little.
Which, by the way, is even more pathetic that he changed the name.
A little bit. Right now, he wants to play Kumbaya, etc. He seems to think we could be friends or something. I do truly think this man has
Unfortunately, this video is the only clips I have of Caleb's actual stream meltdown about it.
Estimated the levels of haterade I bring to this game. So if you don't know who Caleb is and you don't know what I said, this is a good time maybe to go back and check out my previous video. The thing that he was threatening to sue me over, I just went ahead and uploaded it. The problem is,
This is how you lose to D'Angelo Wallace, because he absolutely knows that you're not going to sue him, and now he gets to go on stream and literally call your bluff and laugh at you. I mean, like, this is worst case scenario. When you threaten lawsuits you have no intent of following through on, you allow people to just sit here and make fun of you.
the thing that he was threatening to sue me over, I just went ahead and uploaded it. The problem is, before I had a chance to put that video out, Caleb took the original live stream where you just get my unedited thoughts, and that's what he was reacting to, which is why it took him.
He couldn't even wait for the cut up clip, so he's like, yeah, I need to spend 4 hours watching an unedited, like, uncut stream VOD.
4 hours to respond to all of my points. And because of this, I regret to inform you, Caleb's live stream is actually unwatchable. It is to the point where people in his audience were begging him, Caleb, please just stop pausing the video every 5 seconds. This is going to take forever. Would you let it play so we can hear what D'Angelo was saying before you go off and start screaming? And this was Caleb's reaction to his fans asking him to do that.
Let 30 seconds play. Fuck you. Unsubscribe. I don't care. Get out of here, bitch. I'm doing a reaction to someone talking shit about me. I'm gonna do it how I want, you little fuck.
And if you're thinking, well, that was kind of a lot of
Yeah, if you're thinking, oh, that was probably just one clip or whatever. I mean, I'm sure there's not like a whole lot of that.
energy, is he like this the entire? Yes. And therefore, sorting through this to figure out what his sort of responses to my main points were was excruciating. I went through 4 hours of this energy just to try to give him a fair shot. I think I'm definitely dumber than I was before. A few of my brain cells have certainly been replaced with rocks at this point, but here is my interpretation of Caleb's responses to my main points that I was making in my video, because I had quite a few. The first thing that I accused him of was uploading misogynist thumbnails, misogynist titles, constantly referring to the women on the shows as the B word, etc. And
this is something that I do want to talk about, so I'm gonna jump in on this.
Caleb says,
We tell them how crazy the episode's gonna be and how the thumbnails and titles are gonna be, and we ask if they're okay with it. They consented, you didn't, you don't matter. It doesn't matter what you think, you fucking weirdo using my name to get views. What is wrong with you, you pathetic fuck who can't do any research whatsoever? You're a loser.
You gotta not sound that. There's a way to get one guide and move past it, but if every single thing sounds like you absolutely hate your life every time you speak, no, yeah, dude, this is really bad. You sound like a total idiot. But listen, I want to talk about this really quickly, because I think there's a lot of people who make edgy content online, who like making edgy content online because it's their personality, and they like that the audience likes it. The reality is, let's pretend everything he's saying is 100% accurate. The girls that go on there know that they're going to be treated this way. They even want to. They're going to be in the thumbnail. And I'll give you an example as to why that is probably true. They want this title. They want this thumbnail. It's just metadata, blah, 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 blah. Half the part of making edgy content on YouTube is the fact that there are people who aren't going to like it. You don't get to just sit there and make a bunch of edgy content and then cry foul when the people that you would expect to not like it start complaining. The expectation is that you're making the content that you want to make and attracting people like you, but there's no way that you could possibly appeal to everybody when you make edgy content. So when you complain about it in like a really angry way, it just feels like sour grapes. D'Angelo Wallace understands your argument. He knows you're doing it for metadata. And he probably could even, I don't know if he says it, but he probably could concede that the girls that are involved want that content to be produced that way. He's still not going to like it. And you can't just sit here and yell at him until he concedes. He's never going to concede. He's not your he's not your demographic. He's allowed to say that your content sucks or it's inherently misogynistic because that's what he wholeheartedly believes. And it wouldn't work. Like, it's edgy content for a reason. There are people who agree with this guy. I don't, but there are people who do.
oh, it's bad. It's bad. This is a bad response. I sat through this for every single point that I made just to see if he had any sort of...
I can't believe D'Angelo is this sensitive now. He's always been like this. He went after Turkey Tom for saying N-words eat chicken in a Discord server. That is my expectation when I watch this guy's content, is that this is the stuff that he does not like. And he is entitled, unfortunately, to that opinion. You can't debate him into liking it. And he's a topic channel, so he's going to tell you what he doesn't like.
Criticism. And so if I sit here and respond to every single time he like starts...
That's a crazy thing to say. Again, dude, I don't care that a 16-year-old said N-words, eat chicken, 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 or whatever in his Discord server that nobody was meant to see that got leaked by his personal friends. I still don't care. People get mad at me about it. It's totally fine. I understand, though. There are people online who are not going to like me because I said that. It's edgy, I guess. I don't know.
Starts crashing out and going off on a tangent and, I don't know, trying to verbally whack me over the head with a cartoon hammer. I think we're going to be here for a long time, so...
But I do disagree with D'Angelo Wallace in this position, and it's not the reason that Caleb just gave.
Pardon me for just responding to his main point. The people on my show, the women on my show, consent to being on my show. They're okay with my titles and thumbnails. They talked at length about this, about how they have a whole onboarding process, and this isn't a case of Caleb just, you know, belittling his guest without their permission or whatever. And he uses the same argument to combat many of my points where I'm saying the things he's doing are wrong. And I think that's hilarious to basically build your entire defense.
The issue is that Caleb has a set of arguments that he uses that he thinks are universal, like a Discord moderator debate, and they're not always accurate. You're not always debating the same person. You can't use the pre-approved talking points, and not in this case.
Over something that does not actually contradict what I was saying. Caleb seems to think that I am offended for the people specifically inside his videos. And
to be charitable, I think it did kind of come off that way. Didn't he verbally say, like, I'm sorry to one of them? I think he might have said that. Hold on. Caleb Hammer is trying to sue me. I did pre-watch part of this. I thought he literally said that.
Caleb Hammer clearly has a packaging problem. Whenever he's talking about a woman, the video titles are actually insane. So here's a man, for example. He says, arrogant freak thinks he knows more about money than me. So for the dudes on the channel, they may get called arrogant freaks, right? They may get called kind of dumb or whatever. How come whenever he has a woman on the channel that he's not rocking with, you get titles like dumb, spoiled B-word? I effing hate her. First of all, I didn't really know you could name a video I effing hate.
I didn't know that either.
Her.
And I didn't know that you could put that in the metadata either.
And put the B word in the thumbnail and gets 600,000 views, but you can. It's like, oh, he did.
I figured that YouTube would go no on that, but I guess that does work, yeah.
At this one time. No, you've also got really fun stuff over here. Fun, heavy quotes. Like, I kicked off his B wife. It's really, 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 really common. He's aggressive. He's nasty in the way he talks about these people. I've never hated a more vile piece of trash. Goth freak. Oh, wait. And of course, we do have septum piercing freak. So from one septum piercing freak to another, I'm sure this is not going to be an excruciating watch at all. Someone said incel vibes for...
Well, on that one, he's obviously talking about the audience, not specifically the viewer.
Sure. Oh, just you wait. Anyways, it is absolutely a gender bias. You have this dude on here. His money spending it all on this called the dumb spoiled B word. He effing hates her, etc. Essentially...
Maybe he doesn't. I thought I remember that he does kind of say, like, I'm sorry to the person.
This dude is making anti-SJW content.
We don't listen to people that look like you anymore. I don't know if you know this. You've lost all the power.
What does that even mean? Is it a woman thing?
No, SJW.
There's another aspect to the Caleb Hammer stuff that frustrates me, and I'm just pointing it out now because I'm seeing it. People will constantly say that Caleb Hammer is apolitical. He's not. He's not apolitical. He definitely does make, like... He kind of does make anti-SJW content. It's a mixture between financial audit and anti-SJW content. If he doesn't want to be compared to that, he shouldn't make that kind of content. But it's like, you have to be denying it, watching this, to say this doesn't seem like something that would come from that era.
W thing.
So you're sexist.
But the problem is the people who watch him are totally into that. So I don't understand why the constant denial. Yeah, I don't think he spends a lot of time talking about policy. Well, he has kind of done that more since he started streaming, but prior to that, he didn't.
that I said SJW.
But he's doing the I'm not political, but I make political content meme.
Is that women?
Well, I mean,
Yes, Caleb. SJW does mean woman. SJW means woman, person of color, queer person, any sort of possible minority just gets labeled an SJW for merely existing. But hold on.
I don't know. I don't know what SJW is, but
Social
you like to
justice
talk
warrior?
over women all the time.
I talk over everybody, including myself.
You can't talk over yourself.
Jesus.
I have so many clips of this man. Harmful.
Maybe you should stop and think.
He kind of sounds like an SJW.
All right, I don't think I'm going to find it, but there was a clip that I remember. Maybe I'll add it to the VOD if I remember.
That's certainly one way of interpreting my video, but I definitely believe the vast majority of other people watching were easily able to see. My point is that Caleb is playing into an ecosystem of misogynist content by appealing
Which he did. That was what he was pushing.
to people who hate women, want to see them get called the B word on the thumbnail or in the title, say you hate them, etc. The actual individual opinions of the people in the video have quite little to do with whatever.
I think he does this with like a lot of women content creators, but the issue that I have is that there are people who go to Caleb Hammer because they have OnlyFans platforms, and being degraded on a show like that will drive in lots of money. So if you want to get mad at Caleb Hammer for going after and pushing the quote-unquote incel viewer to his content to make money, or doing the thing that is thumbnail optimization, title optimization, which inadvertently will bring in the same amount of people, I think you need to be critical of that specific sex working industry, that the top earners, the top 1% earners on OnlyFans and stuff, have realized that this self-deprecation routine that ultimately puts women who don't do sex work in a disadvantage in terms of content creation, in terms of just general influencer stuff. You have to acknowledge that this is a problem that is also directly benefiting top 1% sex workers. That's my fucking take on it. I think if you're only getting mad at the man who is doing this while simultaneously uplifting the content creators on OnlyFans, I think you're only seeing half of the equation. The reality is, if you're a person who doesn't want to show cleavage on Twitch, or if you're a person who wants to make this, like, who I guess, I don't know. If you're a person who doesn't like this, but you're not acknowledging the fact that, like, sex workers happily go on his show to degrade themselves purely for financial gain, and you just look past that, I think you're only seeing half the equation.
I was saying. Anyway, my next point that I made was that he was an anti-SJW in the year of our Lord 2026.
Which I think you could make the argument that he is, or that the content that he makes is pushed that way.
Which I don't even think he disagreed with me.
Because every single person I've met who's a social justice warrior, or like the old, like not old school woke, but like the new woke, because old school work was good, but they're actually like the worst people I've ever met.
What the fuck does that mean, Caleb Hammer? The old woke was good, but the new woke is bad. Dude, 2016 was literally 10 years ago. That's the old woke. Like, the time where anti-SJW content was created is the old woke.
Yeah, if the guess is an
We've been doing this for, unfortunately, it reminds me of iDubbbz, where he just shows up and he's like, it's like a time capsule to older politics. I feel like embarrassed watching some of it.
SJW, I will make fun of that.
And I'm not saying that everything Caleb Hammer says I inherently disagree with either, but his content feels extremely dated when he injects politics into it.
If the guesses are racist, I will make fun of them for being racist.
Didn't you get a bunch of old woke merch for free? You cannot say. Bro, don't fucking say the new norm is old woke. What?
Watch the content, you pathetic
I guess maybe old people made it.
piece of trash who can't make actual valid criticisms.
Again, we're not doing so hot right now. I guess I didn't.
New norm. I bought a bunch of new norm merchandise and they didn't set up their shop, so PayPal refunded me. So now I have like new norm drink cozies, a new norm hat, a new norm sweatshirt. I thought it was really funny and I was gonna like wear it to VidCon, but then I realized that VidCon is like in a warm location and bringing a sweatshirt wouldn't make any sense. And then they just refunded all my money.
Say it, but making anti-SJW content is pathetic. It was bad back then, and it is doubly awful now because we all know that this is just stupid. He explains that, like, social justice warrior is...
I don't think you could get mad at this take if you proclaim that you make edgy content. I think this is the person who is always going to have an issue with your content, and there they are with the expected outcome. And you know what happened? Caleb couldn't finish. That's the issue. Caleb Hammer had the most expected outcome for the content that he was putting out as bait, And then he went on a live stream and had a 4-hour mental breakdown about it. If you can't handle the fire, get the fuck out of the kitchen. If you can't manage engaging with a person who's calling you out in the most expected way possible, you should not be live streaming. This was always going to happen. That was why you made the content like this to begin with. You need to be able to navigate this stuff if you're going to be in a live forum, or if you're going to choose to react to it at all. You can't just go live and have a mental breakdown when somebody says, I actually don't like the content that you're making, and I think it's misogynistic, when the joke is that it comes off misogynistic.
Is a horrible type of person. These are awful.
I've said this so many times, and I've actually given this, I think I've given this advice to Caleb Hammer. Caleb Hammer constantly talks about, and you're going to hear clips in this video, how much money he makes. He's making so much money. He's paying so many people. They all have benefits. They all get vacation time. He's making so much money. Why are you streaming? Now, Papa Gut told me, you think he's done with that, and he's probably slowing down, and he's going to get rid of it. That's good. There is no reason why Caleb Hammer, a guy who all he has to do is post financial audit videos on YouTube, is in debt, or he needs money so badly that he's going on fucking YouTube and covering drama. It is so much riskier to do YouTube drama, especially about you, than it is to just shut the fuck up and do what you're good at and make your fucking financial audit show that's really funny, all right? Don't go on Twitter and start arguing about fucking ICE. Don't start fucking arguing about Israel, Palestine. I cannot understand what goes over, what happens to these influencers who find themselves extremely lucrative niches, and then they just go, all right, guys, now I'm going to get political. Wasn't that the joke? Wasn't the joke like, you made this political? Dude, all you've got to do, I feel like I'm talking to Neo Boblax. Shut the fuck up, make financial audit, and live your life. Why the fuck do you want to risk any of this shit to argue fucking any of these points when you're not smart enough to do it? You're not smart enough. You're not doing any research on any of the shit that you're covering. You're getting clipped every fucking week. For what? For what? iDubbbz needs money. I kind of get it with him. Why the fuck are you going live and being ignorant about random political subjects?
People who are constantly on their moral high horse, people who like hold people to these impossible standards, and
put the fries in the bag. He doesn't have to. He's putting the caviar in the bag. He doesn't need this. You like there's no reason why you should be diving fucking feet first into this shit.
Is that the other? And while there are definitely people like this who exist, I just find it quite interesting how the term SJW gets applied to people who are usually just saying things like, oh, hey, don't say slurs. Ooh, maybe you shouldn't treat marginalized people as less than. If you think the people doing.
And again, every single person in his audience watching this is just like, yes, D'Angelo, yes, go after this guy's fucking clickbait thumbnails and titles that he uses to drive in viewers.
This need the same level of being made fun of as actual racists. You have completely lost the plot. Anyway, my next point was that he was being weird about pronouns by purposely showcasing people using alternative pronouns in the beginning of his video.
Okay, so now I don't like neopronouns. I'll just straight up say it. I do not like neopronouns. Okay? That's not, I find them stupid. I think the concept of inventing new words, words as simple as pronouns, I think it's stupid. That being said, I need you to watch this segment and tell me what Caleb is doing wrong.
That way, his audience of bigots was predisposed to disliking this person. And Caleb's response to this is actually amazing. And by the way, if you want to see the expanded version of any of my arguments that I'm talking about here, you can just go back and watch the last video. Again, it's all there. It's explained in more detail. I'm not actually just going off of vibes. I am showing the things I'm talking about.
Do we respect pronouns?
Absolutely.
On the show, I have made mistakes, but I respect. Dude, we're fucking researching your pronouns because I thought you were a woman because I didn't hear you speak first. So like just based on your face, we respect pronouns. What are you fucking talking about?
Oh, the dangers of being a beautiful man. Now you've got proof in the wild that I just walked through this earth and people are like, you are.
So let me see. Where is the actual pronoun segment in this?
Identify as it as well.
Do you actually?
I accept all pronouns, you know. Yes. So the theme, Twilight Wedding.
Oh my goodness, you tried to get wolves.
Oh my God, this goth.
You're marketing the video, and the punchline is that they use it as a pronoun. Okay, somebody somewhere is going to come out and go, I don't like that you're marketing your entire video where you're making fun of it being a pronoun. You should not be getting physically angry that your clickbait tactic, that your fucking edgy like joke that you're intentionally putting in, like your edgy shot here, is drawing in people who give the expected response, right? It's supposed to be fucking awe-catching. It's supposed to drag people into the video. Obviously, it's supposed to be controversial. You can't get really angry and start freaking out when something that you know is like a controversial take is treated controversially.
Too beautiful to actually exist.
It's supposed to be rage bait. Yeah, he's putting rage bait in his videos, in his titles, in his thumbnails, and I'm suing this fucking guy. When he does, yeah, he takes the dude. I don't know.
Must be a woman. Nah, I'm just pretty. But listen, my point wasn't that Caleb has ever misgendered anybody, because if that happened, I don't know. My point was exactly what I said in my video, which has not actually been contradicted here in any meaningful way. So let's just move on. Next, I accused him of leaning on homophobia as well, which he said can't be the case because
I don't hate gay people. We have, someone say, too many gays working at this company. No, that's a joke again. You read a title that is outrageous and silly and you say I'm homophobic? You say I'm sexist? No, you're fucking retarded. That's the only real thing here.
Ooh, all right. Whipping out our first slur. Let's go. Or let's not go, because this is just actually...
Again, this is more like, if you don't want to play in the fire, get out of the kitchen. Don't fucking title videos that way. If you're like going to get like super fucking sensitive when somebody goes after you for it.
Really
it's controversial for a reason.
Tiring. The longer this goes on, I just feel like the less effort I actually have to put into responding to this. I have gay people working for me as an unironic response to...
And yeah, again, the answers to these things are not good either.
Homophobia accusations. But just wait, because later he's going to do the same.
And I don't think it's unwinnable either. If he just handles himself in a composed way, and he doesn't just keep screaming at D'Angelo Wallace's live stream and embarrassing himself, I think there's a way that he can respond to this correctly, just to be clear. I'm not saying it's impossible for him to like win this conflict. I'm just telling you he lost.
Racism and be like, oh, actually, I know black people. If you think I'm kidding, you're in for a ride. Also, I really do love how thus far, not even one thing I said has been contradicted. Not one. If you think I'm leaving out context, because trust, I am leaving out vast swaths.
Because what I get from these clips of Caleb Hammer is it reminds me of like Doomer Media. Like when Doomer Media does the yell whining, where he's like, no, I've literally been playing fucking video games for like 30 years. And like that thing, that's what I'm hearing every time Caleb Hammer opens his mouth and tries to explain his content.
This live stream, you are free to try to get through it. Whether you will do so with your brain cells intact remains to be seen. And by the way, seeing how he just used the R word to describe me for some reason, that was one of my points as well. Hey, being ableist isn't cool. Using this word all the time isn't great. At one point, he was calling a woman's autistic daughter the R slur. And so this is what he says.
I said it for an
Oh, this one's really weird. Yeah.
outrageous moment that she can...
She consented to it. Dude, so the clip here is that this person has like an autistic daughter, and then he just randomly goes, so your daughter's retarded. And the woman's like, why did you say that? She has autism. That means mentally retarded, right? Yeah, no, there's a spectrum. The joke is, like, you're saying this crazy inflammatory thing, and then somebody says, wow, that's like a crazy inflammatory thing, and you're like, you fucking piece of shit. They fucking consented to that, you son of a bitch. It's like, I just don't take this seriously. You need to just, I don't know, you just don't do what you've done on stream. Maybe don't stream your response to this if you can't emotionally stick through it.
Slur. And so this is what he says.
I said it for an outrageous moment that she consented to. I talked to her about it before we started filming. You don't know anything. You're offended on behalf of someone who is not offended.
I'm going to give a stupid metaphor because Caleb is a stupid person. So I don't even feel like I can talk about the smart anymore. Let's say you have someone on your show and you both agree, okay, we're going to go whack a random person with a stick. When I show up later making a YouTube video called Caleb Hammer should probably stop whacking random people with sticks, I don't actually think you get to say, well, the person I invited to whack people with me was a consenting adult, so you...
All right, here's the answer to this. When I say retarded on my fucking stream, which I do all the time, I'm saying it knowing that there are people in the audience who just by hearing me say that have clicked off the show. I get it. That's totally fine. We are not compatible, right? That's something that I just do. And if you don't like it, that's totally fine. There are people who don't like it and they still watch, and that's cool. If you didn't want to stay here, that would be totally fine as well. The reality is I'm not trying to keep anybody in here who isn't comfortable with what I do on a regular basis. I'm not changing my content to fit you. And if you don't want to watch it, that's totally fine with me. Because if I did that, then it would slip out of my mouth and I would call somebody retarded. And then the audience of people who aren't here to watch me, they're here to watch some fake variant of me, would immediately leave all at once and it would fuck up my channel. That's the reality of the situation. So when he's saying, I call this person retarded, you can't be offended because they consented, that's a losing argument because your audience might actually be offended. The reality is, I don't really care if they're offended. I'm not making content for those people. Those people are incompatible with me. I apologize if you've come to my channel and you don't know this and you're somebody who doesn't like this and you've been offended. I sincerely apologize to you, but my suggestion is to not watch me anymore if you can't get past the things that I do that you don't agree with. I'm not making content for you.
Keffel's tweet.
I'm not making content for D'Angelo Wallace.
Keffel's appreciated.
So I wouldn't care if D'Angelo Wallace said
You're a product of your own environment.
Yeah.
You don't know anything. Using slurs is
Thank you very much.
And y'all were literally using it to describe an actual human being.
That was also a Caleb's take before shouting. Yeah, but the issue is all that other stuff doesn't matter. When he's like, oh, the person fucking consented, they consented to the... That's not addressing what D'Angelo's argument is.
Are you serious right?
That's the Discord talking points because he's getting... Somebody said this. I saw this before in the chat. I meant to bring it up before. It's the Snarks and the Lannisters again. Like, that's what's happening here. Caleb Hammer is responding to D'Angelo Wallace, but he's really mad at the Snark subreddits that are telling everybody that he's abusing these fucking people, and he's trying to fight every battle at once.
Keffel's appreciated the shout out.
I'm still behind on the stream. Please just invest your extra money into an S&P 500 ETF.
Thank you.
Mutual fund of your choice.
It's this.
You could easily be a multimillionaire in a couple decades with your income. This is not financial advice.
Thank you. I think it's like it's the Snarks and the Lannisters again, though. It's literally just like he's mad at the subreddit. The subreddit is saying these things. He's personifying that onto D'Angelo Wallace, and then he's reacting to everybody else, and he's not answering anybody's arguments.
Right now, the same applies to the misogyny, the homophobia, everything that we've covered so far. Again, has nothing to do with your guests. Like, it has something to do with your guests. It's still cringe to watch you sit around and be creepy and sexist and misogynist to real human beings, but their consent is a minor point in this larger argument of you pandering to people.
And the problem that I'm seeing is it's the biggest point other YouTubers have levied. So you're fighting ghosts, basically.
Was just how icky he is when it comes to many of the guests who are women talking about their bodies.
That was on purpose. The Snarks and the Lannisters, bro.
I made the bold claim that
the Snarks, dude.
Actually, it's super weird to, within the first minute of meeting somebody, mention their boobs. But you know what?
And again, it's rage bait.
Caleb was like,
he knows this. He expects this.
Like, nah, fam.
Welcome to content. Dude, I'm literally making content. What do you think you're doing? You're over sensationalizing this for content. That's what I was doing there. Do you not know how YouTube works? Why is it up to him for what's appropriate?
I didn't know that he was the appropriate police. Show me your badge.
I gotta say.
And it looks better because we're watching these little clips in short bursts, but I imagine if I sat here and watched Caleb Hammer fucking flounder for 4 consecutive hours, screaming, essentially having a 4-hour variant of the Papa Gut thing, I don't know if I can compare that because Papa Gut was found like he was wrong at the end and then he deleted his thing. But I'm saying he's got like the energy of the Papa Gut clip for 4 consecutive hours. I think that would be really grating on any viewer trying to watch it.
Though, if Caleb is the dumbest person alive, whoever
own it, yeah, own it.
Whoever that is with the pink hair, strong candidate for second place. Anyway, much of this is him explaining, oh, D'Angelo, like me talking to people.
Dude, if Caleb Hammer turned around and said, fuck this, I don't really, okay, oh, you're mad about my titles and thumbnails? You know what you should be mad at? It's fucking the viewers who are clicking these more than yours. Actually, I think there's a part in your video where you're saying that you're just straight up upset that the meta is this content. Let me see. Look.
I'm gonna mention your body. No, dude. God, this is such weird this is such weird content to be the meta right now. It is so weird that this is the meta.
Well, it seems like you're really upset that this is the meta content. You're acknowledging that this is what gets views. So maybe you should be mad at society because that's what they want to click on instead of whatever the fuck you're covering right now. Instead of like, I'm not doing anything. I've been playing fucking financial advisor for 30 years. Nothing I'm doing is wrong. Nothing's...
Isn't the first time I'm actually meeting them. We have, again, this onboarding process they refer to. We do a lot of vetting, etc. And to that, I say nothing because it's still creepy to talk about people's bodies this way, bro. Especially in content for other people who, again, are clicking in because on some level they want to see this. Anyway, I would say right around here is where the live stream started breaking down. It just started devolving it to combat my assertion that despite being so very stupid, as I'm sure you're seeing even in this video, Caleb is still harmful, and that's why I'm calling this stuff out.
Look through our email, look through our socials. We've had over 50,000 people minimum at this point that have changed their financial lives in the last 4 years because we've done this show. You've never positively impacted someone's life other than entertainment once.
And now are you starting to... Listen, a lot of this was argument related. Now we're just like spite. Now we're just like spite moding here, where he's like shaking while he's trying to deliver the speech about how he's helped people. If you're doing that, you've already lost the optics war. You know, you already look bad.
Look through our socials.
It is still harmful, and that's why I'm calling this stuff out.
Look through our email, look through our socials. We've had over 50,000 people minimum at this point that have changed their financial lives in the last 4 years because we've done this show. You've never positively impacted someone's life other than entertainment once. Fuck you. You have no moral ground to stand on. None.
And I think after
the problem is he sounds like he's gonna cry. Like I don't get why you're shooting from the hip here when you're not experienced at this. When you're fighting with a YouTuber that's got like 500,000 subs, like what are we doing? Why are we shooting from the hip on this one?
After this, he sort of realized
I can tell you firsthand, I've made that mistake. I've shot from the hip on D'Angelo Wallace and I've had egg on my face. It literally happened to me. Been there, done that.
That the vast majority of things that I was saying in my video can't really be argued against because I wasn't wrong. So they just, I don't know, the three of them just started going off of vibes, slowly backing away from making any sort of attempt at rebuttal and just doubling down on the same things they had been saying the entire show.
I don't know how to react to this anymore.
Maybe I'll show you. Basically what happened with Turkey Tom, just for context and why I feel like I've done this already, is when Turkey Tom was a younger YouTuber who had just graduated high school and was getting ready to go to college, somebody sent a bunch of screenshots to D'Angelo Wallace after he criticized one of Tom's videos on Twitter. The video in question was when Edge Boy Turkey Tom made a USS Liberty thing and compared YouTube sponsors to Jews. It was very overtly anti-Semitic. That was the joke. The joke was that he was calling Jews merchants and goblins or something on the screen, and the thing went, stop it, drop it, he's a racist and an anti-Semite. He was literally asking for it. That was the humor that Tom had at 18 years old. So D'Angelo Wallace saw this, and then one of his friends snaked him and sent all of his group chat messages of him saying the N-word that were said in private conversations when he was 16 years old to D'Angelo, who started posting them on Maine. I was stoned in the middle of a Best Buy on Black Friday, and I picked up my phone as I was buying an Xbox that I didn't need because it was the color green, because I was really fucking high. I looked at my phone, and I was in a fucking actual vintage Cabal group chat with like everybody, and I think Wavy was even there because it was friends of Tom, saying, holy shit, Tom's not going to be able to go to college now. Not even kidding. I'm stoned in the middle of a Best Buy buying a military green Xbox One S. Okay. This is like months before the Xbox Series X came out. So I think, no, Xbox One X. So I had to get that. Not really the point. I'm looking at my phone like Tom's not going to be able to go to college. And I'm looking at this, and then I look at this, I'm like, oh, I know this D'Angelo Wallace guy, and I did the cringiest fucking thing I have ever done in my entire content career. And if you think you have a cringier moment, you don't. I was like, I know that guy. He commented on my I'm Alex video. So I tweeted at D'Angelo Wallace, and I said, I am unpinning your YouTube comment, good sir, because I thought you were smart. That is one of the most embarrassing things that I have ever done in a knee-jerk reaction defending my friend for saying the N-word. And it's not even the worst thing that was done that night. D'Angelo Wallace gunned a response back at us that made us look like fucking total losers. And it was so fucking funny. It actually was. He kicked the shit out of us. I need to show you this because actually, unironically, I think Tipsters was worse. Oh my god. So D'Angelo Wallace made a video called I Am Not Sorry, and he just mauled us.
Recently, I've come under fire for tweets that I've made regarding another YouTuber, and I just wanted to go on camera today and say, I'm not taking any of them back.
And he just came back smug with a smile on his face and called us all fucking retarded in a way that was acceptable to his audience. And he was right, because we look like fucking idiots. And he didn't even name the video Turkey Tom, so it didn't even come up. I don't know if he did at the time, but it's not even named that now, so it wouldn't even come up in his search. He just, every single thing he said, he just swerved right around it. Yeah. Let me show you. This is the fucking one. Holy shit. Yeah, this is where he goes after. Oh, dude, wait.
Perpetuating this whole idea that I'm the scum of the earth because I exposed this 17-year-old as a Nazi by using old screenshots of edgy jokes, half of which were less than a year old and most of which contained racial slurs, and that I ruined his life because I had to be the police of who gets to say what. Do you know what it makes you sound like? A triggered, overly dramatic SJW.
Caleb, I've literally done this before. I'm not trying to be mean. I've done this. I have done this exact thing. I am not coming at you trying to be a dick. He made this video on fucking me.
If you guys need a safe space where you don't have to see my scary opinionated tweets, then log off Twitter. It's actually that simple. That's what I did when I got tired of hearing.
You do not go to war. No, you can go to war with D'Angelo. Just don't do it like this, man. Do it with some self-respect.
Stuff like this.
Don't try to fucking...
So my thoughts on this D'Angelo fuckhead is, how does it feel to be a complete and utter fuckhead who's literally going after a teenager and potentially...
He's raping us. He's raping us right now.
Ruining his life.
Dude, when the response for D'Angelo Wallace is just to show our tweets, we've lost. We've lost badly. If they're all laughing at us just for the things that we said, we have lost.
Reputation before he even has a chance to live out his life.
People were also saying this is the same as trying to cancel PewDiePie, which makes less than no sense because PewDiePie.
You get the okay. This is the issue. That's the problem. You just have to remain composed and argue your points effectively. You can't just sit there, scream and cry because somebody who has gone after your edgy content that you make on purpose because it's edgy content is mad about the edgy content in the most expected way possible.
Anymore. It's the same thing over.
You just look like a loser. If you're sitting here being like, I'm an edgelord and I'm awesome, and then somebody goes after you and says, hey dude, that's kind of fucked up the way you're talking to women. You're like, no, you can't do that. Do you know how much money I've saved people so much money. I've done nothing wrong. Why are you coming after me? What the fuck is wrong with you?
Over again now.
And you got it.
Hasn't made a single good point.
No, he doesn't. Anything he tries to is so uninformed of what actually happens here. First of all, why is it up to you to determine what the show is? Like, make your own show.
That was his...
You need to make your own financial audit show. It's the only way that you can possibly critique me.
Response to, oh, hey.
Felt it in Best Buy. Oh, I'm not blaming weed. I was fucking this thing up for days. I fucked up that entire drama, bro. I fucked that up sober. The weed thing is funny because I just looked out at my phone and I had to get in a call in the middle of a Best Buy to talk about it. No, dude, the next couple of days sober was fucked up.
It's pretty stupid to try to shame people in open relationships. All you have to do is take any point that I say and say, actually, that's not a good point. And where do we go from here? I guess you win. Okay, great. And that would be a little bit less serious if I was just making, I don't know,
Nicholas
nonsensical points that don't matter. But when I'm saying things like, oh,
didn't you make a video about it? I'm pretty sure I stayed up for like 25. I stayed up for over 24 hours to get that thing in there, and I got like a huge point at the end of the video completely wrong, and I had to have like a fireside chat with LS Mark to apologize for it. Yeah, no, I totally bombed that entire drama. No, I've literally, I think at this point, did I remove I removed the entire description and said, like, I will go back to this at some other point in the future. So I guess that's right now.
Oh, hey.
No, I did. The only thing that I fundamentally agree with from that entire situation is that I don't care that 16-year-old Turkey Tom said the N-word. But now he went and said it when he was 23, so I don't think it matters. There was like the viral clip that goes around where like, you don't care that a teenager says the N-word? I'm like, no. Do you remember, who was it? Sky Jackson from one of those fucking Disney Channel shows tried to get some kid kicked out of college because he said guacamole N-word penis or something on Twitter? I just don't care. I don't think that we need to inform universities that people said slurs, not even directed. There's a difference between Keemstar calling a black guy the N-word and then iDubbbz saying N-word F slur on a podcast, but nobody cares about context anymore. Yeah, I don't think the guy who said guacamole N-word penis should have gotten targeted to the point where they were trying to get him to like lose his fucking scholarship.
You're doing something racist on your show, and your response is to call a black person on the phone.
I was just accused.
She doxed a lot on Twitter. Yeah, this was around the time, I think, when Sky Jackson was doing that, so everyone was like guarded
by
teenagers be edgy. Well, the thing is, if you're edgy but you're like you repent, then you can have long, fruitful careers in like a leftist landscape. But the second that you disagree, do you remember this guy was a literal fucking Nazi when he got started? I think that guy was like a literal fucking Nazi. That guy was a Nazi, man. He used to say fucking slurs and shit. iDubbbz will know soon enough.
A man that I am probably the most racist man out there.
Which he is lighter than you, Robert.
Which, by the way, I will say, if anyone is willing to call me on my shit because he knows like it's like nothing bad will ever happen, Robert will always call me the fuck out. Robert, am I racist?
Caleb Hammer called a black guy to ask if he was racist on a show. This is the most nuclear variant of I have a black friend I have ever fucking seen in history. He called a black guy to ask if he was racist in response to D'Angelo Wallace. You were not winning this conflict. This is not even a funny bit. It's embarrassing.
No, not racist.
Okay. Well, thank you, Robert.
Are y'all starting to see why I said this reminds me?
Nick, if you ever slip up, it's fine. I give you the pass. The speech that I gave before is true. I use the word retarded all the time. The F slur comes out of my mouth on occasion. It used to come out of my mouth on the stream, like every fucking 25 of them. The reason why there are 0 clips of me saying the N-word is because I don't say the N-word. When PewDiePie said the N-word in the middle of a match of PUBG, I can tell you that doesn't just occur. You don't get so mad you pop an N-bomb. The reason why people get into positions where they say the N-word on stream by accident is because they say the N-word. I don't have anything to worry about. It's not even it's literally not in my vocabulary, so it's never gonna happen. That's why a lot of the N-word clips are like people singing it in songs, because when they're off stream driving in the car, they're like, we the realist, and they just start fucking dropping it like it's fucking white chicks. That's why that happens. When PewDiePie said the N-word on the bridge, it's because he fucking uses it. That's why it happens. That's why I'm at no risk of it. The biggest risk that I have to be clipped saying the N-word is when somebody says something that phonetically sounds similar in a donation to try to trip me up. It's never going to just pop out randomly.
Me of the ukulele apology in terms of disconnect from reality. This is a little subtler. It's a little less out there from the surface, but holy moly, this is unhinged. And I think what almost makes this comical is I was saying not to mock Vietnamese people's accents. Also, him saying that I said that he's the most racist person out there. I didn't say that. Caleb's not the most anything out there. I think that's what's so incredible to me about his content being as popular as it is. You're not the funniest. You're not.
But that's not how social media works, D'Angelo Wallace. That's the problem, is that the majority of these people get where they get by luck, and they're just ingrained in the culture by that point. Like, they establish an audience and they're just there, you know? Sometimes the best, most talented person gets stuck at 50 subscribers and quits.
Sorry, we
But somebody goes viral on TikTok and they're famous. I mean, it sucks, but that's how it works.
don't need to sit here and just start dragging him. I think he's doing great doing that himself in this live stream. Now, this part's really funny. I point out in my video that so much of what Caleb does.
Do you have the green Xbox? Yeah, it's in
I
my...
just saw Keffel's tweet on Nicholas DeOrio.
Keffel's appreciated the shout out.
Yeah, it's in my basement.
Does with his guests is
I don't think it's plugged in, though, because I have a Series S in there now.
projecting, or at least
It's not even by the bar.
to my untrained eye, comes across as projecting to many of the people watching it. And Caleb has the brilliant response of, no, actually, you're projecting.
Is that not what he's been doing this entire conversation? You've concluded that I'm racist, sexist, homophobic, you name it. That is literally your entire content. You're drawing conclusions about things you literally know nothing about. You don't know me, you don't know our content, you don't know our guests, you don't know the process. Shut the fuck up. That is all you do.
Dude, he literally is getting out of breath from fucking spiraling. This is not I've said this a million, it's not how you manage this engagement.
It's crazy to say this about a video that is live. It is live online. Anybody on the internet.
Yeah, he's like shaky voicing it.
I can go look and see what I said. This is not like a reality-based interpretation of your.
And you can come at me and say, well, Nick, you seem to disagree with a lot of the things that he's saying here, in terms of actual practice. So what's your issue with Caleb Hammer getting upset about it? Caleb Hammer doesn't even have to respond to this video. If D'Angelo Wallace made a video saying that all my thumbnails are fucking horrible and they're sexist and that I'm racist, I just wouldn't respond to him because I don't share any audience with D'Angelo Wallace. His audience, viewers, and all these people who are coming in and saying anything, there's no crossover. It doesn't matter to me. D'Angelo Wallace doesn't like me. It doesn't change my life at all whatsoever. I wouldn't sit there for 4 hours screaming on my stream about how mean he was in 2026.
Events. This is like Caleb's reality, which I would not want to live in, man. I said it before in my last video. You could not pay me. You could not pay me. And speaking of like fake reality, fake everything, one of my main points was that if you go to Caleb's earlier content,
people are saying not true. I watch both of you. If D'Angelo Wallace made a fucking stream on me saying I do ultimate rape review, which is fucked up and we shouldn't make rape jokes, would you guys unsubscribe, or do you guys understand what URR is? Would I have to explain it to you because D'Angelo Wallace said it after the Snarkers have been arguing this for fucking 8 months? No, I wouldn't have to address that. The audience that's here already is fully ingrained in exactly what we're doing on this channel. They understand what this content is. They watch it. I'm not nervous at all whatsoever that D'Angelo Wallace would then just... You'd hear him say something and it would completely flip your opinion on something that you've seen content on my channel for like 3 years.
and this nasty personality,
Yeah.
he does not talk to people like this.
But I also understand there are people who, even if they're not lying about me, even if they're not saying that I have a funny meter and I review the rape on who gets fucking abused the hardest, or that I sit here watching play-by-plays of women getting raped on my stream, like all the stuff that people say that's literally just like fucking defamatory, right? Even if you just say, I know what URR is, I don't like it. That's fine. You don't have to. I'm not saying that you have to. That's total. I knew when I created a UFC style intro for rape that there'd be people who charitably wouldn't like it. I think the first thing that came out of my mouth when I did that is, I'm going to get canceled for this. Yeah, I acknowledge that there are some people who would have seen that segment. They know that I'm not sitting here with a funny meter preying on women's tears, and they still don't really like it, and they're not going to watch me. That's totally fine. Maybe there are people out there who think that you cannot make a joke like that, even if you're not insidious. That's totally fine.
He's not acting like this constantly in all of his videos. It's forced. And Caleb says, my assertion that he's faking a personality for views is worth suing over.
Tyler, am I me or am I fakey?
You're very real.
Yeah.
What you see is what you get.
Yeah, you're pretty pretty the same.
Fuck off, D'Angelo. You fucking. Oh, sorry, D'Angelo. I just interrupted a black man. Tyler, please finish.
No, I was saying the same thing as them.
Yeah, have fun in hell for interrupting them.
Literal liar. And actually, that's a lie against our business. I could sue you for that, and maybe I will. I have unlimited money.
Do it. He's looking for it.
I could sue you because that's actually defamation against me and my business. Saying that this whole thing is fake, I could sue you. And I have the best lawyers in the business. You would be so fucked.
I suppose.
So if you wanted to sue D'Angelo Wallace because he defamed you, whatever. I mean, it sounds like a lawsuit to me. But when you say, I could sue you for this, I have the best lawyers in the business, and then you title the video, I'm suing D'Angelo Wallace. Now the video is deleted, so that's a little bit worse. But when I go to the video and I see that it's now called like D'Angelo Wallace is mad at me, I'm going to call you a pussy for that. Because like, it's not even that you were doing a lawsuit, it's that you were just like trying to scare him and you missed and you never intended on actually going through with it. That's stupid.
There's not much room in Caleb's head for multiple
there are so many times where like the reason why YouTube lawsuits used to be so funny is prior to like Ethan Klein, people threatened lawsuits all the time. They never planned on actually doing it. It's really fucking cringe.
thoughts, and so he got very fixated on this idea.
You miss 100% of the shots you don't take? No, you miss 200% because you've embarrassed yourself and then you didn't take the shot.
Once it popped up into his head, oh, maybe I could sue this guy, he starts framing the rest of this response as, oh, you made a bad point and you're wrong and the guest consented and I'm gonna sue you. And when you mix that with just his grandiosity, and listen, I am a grandiose person for sure. I'll stop and wax poetic about my own good qualities any day. But at the very least, holy God, at least my content doesn't come across like this. This is his reaction to me saying he sold out his viewers for just cashing in the misogyny bucks.
Dude, I could retire tomorrow. I'm sorry. Now, I want to keep working for two reasons. One, I enjoy it. I'll be so fucking bored if I don't. Two, I also don't want to just fire everyone. But like, that wouldn't be very good. But dude, I have more money than you'll ever have. And again, that's not a fucking
That is a brag. It's like an angry brag. I've done this too. Like, I'm not immune. I'm not impervious. But like, I don't do it in this scenario.
But like, that wouldn't be very good. But dude, I have more money than you'll ever have. And again, that's not a fucking brag. I'm sorry.
I'm not on my stream being like, oi mate, I got 6 figures coming in here.
Dude, I have more money than you'll ever have. And again, that's not a fucking brag. I'm sorry. It's really not. But it is true. It is true. And I could retire tomorrow.
I'm not charging people like $1,000 for an online course. I'm not posting.
Yeah, you've walked into it. Yeah. Dude, I go over to Caleb Hammer's fucking thing, and he's like the guy from Rick and Morty. He's like, I'm developing an app, mate. I'm developing an app. Would you like to develop an app with me? It's like, yeah, I get it. You have a lot of money, but that doesn't really help you in this scenario. You just kind of look like an asshole for doing it. Like, I don't know. Yeah, look, this is Caleb Hammer.
What happened?
Well,
by the way, this is clickbaited to be about D'Angelo, in my opinion, and it's about him developing a new app.
My first attempt at building a budgeting app, it didn't go over very well. So I'll rewind. After hundreds of financial audit guesses, one pattern stood out. People weren't failing because they try. They were being handed crappy tools that weren't built for real life. So I tried to see if I could fix it. In January last year, 2025, I launched an app driven by the belief that budgeting shouldn't feel complicated or intimidating. I had good intentions, but the first app.
Hey, this is cringe as fuck. But like, yeah, Caleb Hammer like hyper monetizes his show and stuff. And he runs a financial audit show. I don't understand his argument.
Saying like 3,000.
But dude, listen to this again. Just listen to this.
I'll be so fucking bored if I don't. Two, I also don't want to just fire everyone. But like, that wouldn't be very good. But dude, I have more money than you'll ever have. And again, that's not a fucking brag. I'm sorry. It's really not.
Okay, then why are you LARPing as a politician on Twitter and playing YouTube drama on a detrimental, career-damaging stream channel that has brought you nothing but strife since you started it? Mr. I've got all the money in the world. Why are you risking your entire career at an avenue that you are not good at, talking about stuff that you are not informed on or read into? Why are you doing this? This is a bad idea. Do things that you are good at. You're not a jack off of all trades because you've made it as a financial advisor who makes edgy jokes.
but it is true. It is true. And I could retire tomorrow.
I'm not charging people.
What was that?
Really not, but it is true. It is true. And I could retire tomorrow.
I'm not.
What were those? Did anybody hear that?
It's really not, but it is true. It is true. And I could retire tomorrow.
I'm not.
Was it Hagi Novella? Was that the... Did they not start just immediately started playing the Jew music after that? I heard that, right? I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm so anti-Semitic. I heard one syllable from a song. That is that not the Jewish music?
It's really not, but it is true. It is true. And I could retire tomorrow.
I'm not. Charging people like
That wasn't, I think, or maybe it was, but it sounded like it.
$1,000 for an online course.
Israel! 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 Holy shit, dude.
I'm not posting like 3,000 videos on one channel, taking every single thing I do and splitting it up into 50,000 shorts and a repost for members and this, that, the other. No.
I don't think that joke that Nick just did was funny. Well, I'll have you know, I make a lot of money on YouTube, and I've helped a lot of people by covering this, and I've saved people who've been falsely accused of rape, like my friend Tom, and you can't fucking say that to me. And no, it doesn't work like that, man. You just look like a major bitch.
No wonder you're making so much money, Caleb. You are spamming. I personally think like, oh, I don't have to sell anyone out because I'm already super rich is hilarious. You're rich like this because you've been sold out, honestly. Very much proving my point, but that's okay.
By the way, Caleb's oldest fans all say this. That's like, maybe not all say this. That might be a bit over the top. But that is like a common critique of Caleb prior to like the Snark people getting mad at him. Before it was like the Snarks and the Lannisters, dude.
This next one really took me out. When I point out that his mods are deleting criticism all the time, which is a very, very common complaint when it comes to people talking about Caleb Hammer, he decides to lecture me on why this is the case.
So this is what adults have to do and content creators.
Dude, there's just gotta be a better answer than this is what adults do. That's just not... You can defend your usage of these tools without going, I am the daddy in this situation. This is how adults do it.
You know this.
Again, these are just lobs. D'Angelo Wallace does not have to do a lot of heavy lifting here. He just has to play the clip of Caleb fucking face planting into a rake.
It's because you probably received a lot of criticism. There is a lot of criticism, and you have to parse through what is valid and invalid, and things snowball like crazy. If it is valid criticism, you respond to it behind the scenes by making things better. But if it's invalid criticism, you don't actually have to think about it, and you just don't let it snowball.
Yes, I have received a lot of criticism.
Thank you, Maple Nia.
And you know what I've never had to do? Delete it. Or have anybody delete it for me. And yet, I find myself coming out on top of every bit of criticism that's ever been lobbed my way. Much of it valid, much of it invalid. The fact that the moment somebody has something to say about you, you either try to shut it down aggressively like this, threatening to sue me, or you just successfully shut it down by having it deleted. We're not playing the same game.
Now, Caleb, if you're listening, maybe you are, maybe you're not. This is actually like a huge criticism that I had for Ethan Klein, one that I think is still accurate to this day. There are a lot of YouTubers who make scripted content where we only ever see what they want us to see because it's been cut down. Anytime that there's a transition from content that you are having fully edited, cut up in intervals of 10 to 30 minutes, or in your case, longer, when you go from that to a live show where you could say anything and immediately it's transferred over to a wide audience, tens of thousands of people watching, there's nothing you can do because this is obviously pre-button we're talking about, you're going to show more of your personality than you've ever shown before. For Ethan, that personified in he's a grifter. He never had these views before. Now he has them or something. And that's accredited to the fact that Ethan was like, it's like watching an average Trisha Paytas video. Like you can't diagnose Trisha and her mental illnesses or whatever because she cried and ate a chicken nugget on the floor, right? That was a very cut up, intentional piece of content that she produced. So somebody's live views are not always going to sound like what their pre-recorded content sounds like because you're seeing like a very select view of what they're choosing to show. So it's always going to be kind of jarring, but you don't actually, my point is you don't know any of these YouTubers. You have no idea about like Diesel Patches or Charlie, specifically from his 20-minute videos or 10-minute videos. You just have what they've chosen to say on any given day. So when Ethan came over and started doing podcasting, he put his foot in his mouth a lot. He said a bunch of shit that's followed him for the rest of his career. Example being like the black guys clip, the black ice clip that I always love bringing up, where he's like, there are these huge black guys and they're all strapped and they're all black or something. And then they're like, Ethan, I think it's Gila. Ethan, I don't think that you should be saying that about black people. And he's like, I think that if they're huge and black, that might be worth noting. That's you're getting yourself into new problems that you never had to face before, and you don't know how to navigate that well. And I think that Ethan was very bitter about that, because he was getting a lot of criticism, A, because he was moving his content to a podcast form, and B, he was saying a bunch of really stupid shit. And sometimes when you're getting a lot of criticism just because you're changing your medium, you kind of let it all blend together. And there were a lot of legitimate things that you could have said at that time about the stuff that he was saying on the show, because he was never being scrutinized at a live level before, if that makes sense.
Here. Also, if you notice my tone in this video, just being kind of somewhat lighthearted about this and trying.
And that's what Caleb Hammer is doing right now. He's being scrutinized at a level he's never seen before, and he's crashing out about it.
To chill. It's not the easiest thing to do in a video where Caleb is being racist and calling me slurs. Actually, he used the R word 42 times. I have a transcript. I control F'd. This is actually excruciating. Anyway, as for my assertion that the people he sold his original audience out for include a bunch of bigots, he says
every left wing or woman or trans or whatever minority that loves financial audit, you're all bigots, apparently, according to D'Angelo, who is the authority figure on what people are allowed to think.
No, he's the authority figure on what he thinks, and that's why he's saying the stuff that he thinks in his video. There are parts of this that I will jump in here. The stuff that he says in this video, I don't agree with a lot.
Start calling people this weirdos, and this content did get smaller and smaller. Absolutely.
He does a lot of the ists and obes shit.
Death of Caleb Hammer.
She's fucking and you're not.
Yeah, we've been known about this.
Yes, I'm trying to get.
And is rooted in racist stereotypes and misunderstanding of what masculinity looks like in other places. I am not the one who could sit here and tell you, oh yeah, looking at a random person who committed being Asian and calling them gay is racist. I'm sort of from the outside trying to largely point at what's going on here. But if that somehow was literally not enough, he just starts going down the list of the normal things that people do, or the more obvious things that people do when they're trying to be racist.
No, he was born in Vietnam.
Okay. Does he know what you're...
So, again, I don't know if Caleb Hammer is, fucking racist or not. I would lend to believe that he's making edgy comedy. That's probably what he's doing here. But when you make a bunch of edgy shit, I think you're just asking that you can't have this reaction. This reaction doesn't make sense for the position that he's currently in.
Audience is racist.
But I understand, oh, dude, they're calling me fucking racist. What the fuck, dude? That's crazy.
You actually do have the most racist audience that I've dealt with in my time on YouTube. I pissed off Shane Dawson fans, Cody Co's fans. Some of them are really mad at me at one point. Your audience is a mess. Whatever people of color or women or...
Okay, if the joke is racism, there are people from different communities who immediately just decide that's that's a indictment against your character. This goes back to the whole thing that I've been saying the entire stream. Those people are not your audience. They were not watching you. Their content is not made for those people. That's what we're talking about here.
Or
these people were non-starters already for your content.
Various marginalized minorities.
And they probably think that you're racist no matter how you explain it. So then what's the point? What's the point? No, you don't understand. This is humor. This is a thumbnail. This is for fucking metadata. This is for that. No matter what you say, their decision is that you're racist.
This does not change the fact that over the past couple of days, I've seen some of the most heinous stuff. And I love how this is the same argument the third time, right? I say one thing and he's like, oh, well, here's one person who likes me, so that can't be true. I say another thing and you're like, well, here's one black person, so that can't be true. I say you're pandering to bigots and he's like, well, look, maybe you should have thought this through a little bit before just going live while you were clearly still As per my assertion that he's not even really helping his guests at this point, which is kind of obvious.
Saying I'm just edgy is like saying I was just kidding after saying the meanest thing ever. Okay, but I also want to explain to you that not everybody's Richard Spencer. Not everybody is trying to dog whistle you insanely radical politics. Some people just find rape jokes funny. Are they bad people? You might think so. But not everybody is a deep cover fucking alt-right psyop. Some people just laugh at jokes you don't find funny. You know?
Yes. You just
That's fair, thank you.
have to watch the content and see it's so much more entertaining.
But it's also important to acknowledge that those people do exist. There are people like that who try to normalize edgy humor. And they use edgy humor to try to normalize radical takes and radical beliefs. So those people are bad. And it is valuable to call those people out and not affiliate yourself directly with those people, because there are bad faith actors who enter these spaces for their own personal gain.
Entertainment based than education. Caleb says this.
But our classes have helped lots of people. 50,000 comments, emails, DMs over the last 4 years of people changing their life because of the show. And again, the average guest has paid off $25,000 in 12 months. Not helping people anymore. Just because we have fun and we do some slop doesn't mean there's no help.
That's awesome for the people who have been helped, but truly does not move my needle a little bit on my opinion that you're still not helping the people who come onto your show, and your content as it exists currently is not helpful for people. Anything helpful you had to say about finance, you have already shared on your channel, probably within the first year of you doing YouTube. Oh, and speaking of that $1,000 course, in my original video, I said I thought it was predatory to take people who are struggling with their finances and be like, oh, you can pay me $1,000 and we'll help you fix this. But
look at any other program that is on the same level. Welcome to the marketplace. Also, do you know how expensive it is to make and maintain? You have no idea what our payroll is. Listen, I'm not promising I'm suing you, but I'm promising I'm talking to my lawyers about suing you. You can't just say it's a scam. You never took it. But you saying that in front of thousands of people, buddy.
All right, so what exactly did he say? Because I don't have the long version of this. Where does he use the word scam? Because that's actually very important here.
Which he has marked down 86%. I can't sit here and call this a scam.
Wow. All right.
But I could definitely sit here and say this is predatory. It just straight up is.
Okay. But like, do you guys get it yet? Do you understand? Do you get the problem? Do you understand how he's walking into rakes right now?
You can't just say it's a scam. You never took it. But you saying that in front of thousands of people, buddy, I'm going to sue you. It is objectively not a scam. We put a lot of effort in, a lot of research.
So, all right. Again, I don't know if this is a new clip that was added in, but it seems like all of this is from the original stream. And can I also say, he's right. Can I just say for a minute, this is actually, you know what's really predatory? When Govey, who does the lighting stuff, pretends they're having 50% off sales because they set their prices higher 1 month before Black Friday and have a fake Black Friday sale. I would argue that that is predatory. I would argue that Invicta watches are predatory because they price their watches at like $6,000 and have 95% off sales, and people buy them at extremely low prices because the quality of the watch is shit and it's not a $6,000 watch. When you price something as $7,000 and make it 86% off, I do see that as inherently predatory, because this tells me that either you can't get people into this program and this is a very limited sale, or this is a $1,000 item that you're trying to make look more expensive.
For which he has marked down 86%. I can't sit here.
Is this not illegal in the United States? No, it's common. It is metagaming for low quality products that masquerade as luxury goods or high-end things to make it look like they are having huge fucking sales. I think another example of this, and forgive me if I'm wrong about lightsaber politics, I've just heard him say it, that Star Wars Theory cannot offer 95% off sales on his product because the margins wouldn't allow for it, because other people just charge more money. I'm going to read that one. Sorry, I had it because we had gifteds come in. I'll read that in a second. But he says, like, the reason why we can't charge, Star Wars Theory says the reason why we can't charge 95% off sales is because all these other guys are buying the lightsabers from the same places we are. They're not putting any custom sounds on it, and they're charging more money. So because they charge more money, they can have higher percent off sales, and we can't afford to do that because our base price is lower. He said that himself. Yeah. He's lost because he's coping. He's coping and seething, malding, and wreathing. Thank you very much. I appreciate the dono.
Here and call this a scam.
It's not legal in some states. I'd be interested to see how that looks on different states. But I see this a lot.
But I could definitely sit here and say this is predatory.
Also, if he thinks it's a scam, report it. Again, look.
$1,000 offer, which he has marked down 86%. I can't sit here and call this a scam, but I could definitely sit here and say this is predatory.
If that's his take, that he thinks it's predatory, but he can't call it a scam publicly, I have no problem with that. I think that's fine. He's
took it.
And he's like, I might get my lawyer to sue you for that. Now, in Caleb's defense, I don't know what else D'Angelo said here because I'm not watching his raw stream. And this clip came out after Caleb threatened to sue him, thus the title. So it might have had something changed or removed. I don't know. I'm giving the benefit of the doubt on that one. But
look at any other program that is.
It seems like he's watching the exact same clip.
And call it
Let's see. He's looking at the camera. Okay.
Offer order. He's claiming, which is
this not
ostensibly supposed to help you get your finance.
I mean, it looks like the clip where he says, like, I can't sit here and call this a scam. Caleb. I mean, I don't know.
Which he is
on the same level. Welcome to the marketplace. Also, do you know how expensive it is to make and maintain? You have no idea.
D'Angelo, do we want to go? Do we think that there's a chance that D'Angelo has deceptively clipped this, or are we going to give it to him? Because I don't want to dive in here. And where is this? Where's the Caleb Hammer one? Apparently the full VOD is up. Caleb Hammer is everything wrong with YouTube. So this is a 4-hour stream. Now if I go in here and I look for the word scam, how many times does the word scam come up? I guess I'm gonna do this for posterity. This is where the scam thing comes off.
I remember Caleb having mentioned that this until the 1000 course was relatively inexpensive compared to what other YT financial advisors were offering, like the Money Guys. I think it's a credentials problem more than anything else, but this all looks awful. And
yeah, again, the issue I have is not even that it's $1,000 anymore. It's that he's pretending it's $7,000 and saying it's 86% off. That's stupid. So this is the actual clip.
Is ostensibly supposed to help you get your finances in order. Hold on, because there's like, he's claiming that this is actually a $7,000 offer, which he has marked down 86%. Chat, this is 90% off. You're getting you only have to pay 10% of the actual value. I have
no problem with this clip.
Sit here and call this.
Imagine looking at this and being like, I gotta sue this guy.
It's a scam. But I could definitely sit here and say, this is predatory. This is predatory. It just straight up is. This is obviously for people who don't have a good grip on their finances. And you're like, well, I can fix it for you for $1,000.
And you're getting a deal.
This is unreal. You could buy the course in pieces if you don't have 1,000. Don't worry, you got 200. You can buy this.
Now, why is this $200 regularly? If this is, the numbers don't add up to 7,000, Mr. Hammer. You have to show that this is a percentage off too. Look, it's $197. If you add all this up, do you get 7,000?
For 200, you can buy this one for 200. But yeah, no, if I was really feeling desperate right now, I could check out. Allowing people to do this is, to me personally, so deeply irresponsible. I would never, ever, ever.
Now, if I go to this website right now, is it still 86% off? That's a good question. Caleb Hammer, financial, let's see, financial course. Caleb Hammer, master your budget. Let's go to the courses. Wow, dude, it's been a couple of days. A long-standing sale. Because unfortunately, at the time of recording, it's still 86% off. So that's cool, I guess. Maybe let me try to put this in a Wayback Machine. Is there ever a time where this wasn't 86% off? Did he ever actually charge $7,000? Did anybody ever pay $7,000? Imagine if you spent $7,000 on this fucking guy's course, and then he just popped up and he was like, Yeah, man. I'm gonna be. Unfortunately, it's gonna be 86% off for the next guy, but thanks for the money. Okay, so on December 22nd, it was 86% off. That's on the web archive. Somebody web archived this on December 22nd, and it was 86% off. Okay, so now we've got as far back as November 30th, and it says lock in the Black Friday price. So the Black Friday sale did not end. It just didn't at all. Yeah, this is really shitty, Caleb. I think this is really fucking shitty. And I think that D'Angelo's right. And I think that if it's a suable offense to say this looks predatory and it's bad, then I think that you should sue me. The personal audit experience, 86% off, and the button says lock in the Black Friday price. And this was taken on November 30th. This is like really shitty, Caleb. This is not a $7,000 course, and it's predatory to market it that way, in my opinion.
To me personally.
And again, if you go there right now, it just says get started today. The only thing they've changed is the thing. And they're valuing their own thing at $5,000. That's what I'm seeing right here on Caleb's actual course. Their personal they evaluated it themselves. I don't think that they've gone to like a accredited organization that would value it. They valued it themselves as $5,000, but it's 86% off. And it says get started instead of lock in the Black Friday deal.
So deeply irresponsible.
Maybe it's, hold on, I didn't think about this. Maybe it's a sick joke. Maybe the Black Friday deal is back for Black History Month. Has anybody considered that? Maybe it's just a me Marino?
I would never, ever, ever allow anybody to pay
Now, there was like a whole January and December in between, but...
me that much. No, it doesn't matter what I put in that course. I could have put a message from God himself in this. I would not charge all $1,000 for, especially knowing that it's probably likely to draw people in who are already struggling.
Yeah, I think this clip seemingly going like,
It's no. Someone said, I bet it's 90% off all the time. How much you want to bet? I can't speak to that because I don't know, but how much you want to bet?
Well, now we've done the research and it's been fucking 86% off seemingly since November. I didn't check every single day, but there's a date in November and it said it was a Black Friday sale. And every other date that I've checked, yeah, I mean, you could have just gone on way back and you could have made a stronger argument.
This is a permanent sale. Chad, if something is 90% off all the time, that means it's only 90% of the value that you're saying it is. It's only worth...
You're devaluing your product by not taking... If that's worth $7,000, you're devaluing it.
10% of what you're claiming that original price was.
So where else does scam come in?
Get paid. That's scammy. That's scummy, at the very least. Even if it's not scam.
So I don't think that any of this is happening.
And I was like, yes, I have scammed.
Okay, none of this is about it. Watch the edited version back for the feature-length film. Yeah, I think that Caleb is just fundamentally wrong here. This is just an extremely bad crash out moment.
The same level. Welcome to the marketplace. Also, do you know how expensive it is to make and maintain?
Clearly not as expensive as you like to pretend it is.
You have no idea what our payroll is. Listen, I'm not promising I'm suing you, but I'm promising I'm talking to my lawyers about suing you. You can't just say it's a scam. You never took it. But you saying that in front of thousands of people, buddy.
Is he like pre-watching it? Oh, you know, I can't find this out right now. Hold on. Wait, let me see if I can figure this out.
Claiming that this is actually...
No, there's no way. There's literally no way to fucking walk into this rake fairly. Because the first time he says scam, he says...
Which he has marked down 86%. I can't sit here and call this a scam.
No, you can't. There's no way to misinterpret it. Because he says I can't say before he says the word scam. Like, there's no way you could even clip that too soon and be wrong.
I'm going to sue you. It is objectively not a scam. We put a lot of effort in, a lot of research, and worked with a lot of experts on those. You're done. And also,
he's pissed that somebody called his course shit? Yeah, probably. And you know what? Maybe the course is good. Maybe he's mad that the course is being called shit. But unfortunately, Caleb, that's your fault. Because you evaluated it at fucking $7,000. And you have it for 86% off. You know what that tells me? Either your evaluation is a fucking lie, or your course is shit and you can't sell it. So I'm sorry, I don't think I have to take your course to see a perpetually 86% off product is probably pretty shit.
So if a scam, everyone can get a refund if they just ask.
I didn't say it was a scam. I really didn't. I still don't believe it.
And you know what? Now we just sat here and did a 20-minute detour. And yeah, it sounds like it checks out. It sounds like he didn't do that.
It's a scam. I believe exactly what I said. The idea of us being in court and they're like, okay, so he's suing you for saying his course is a scam. And then I'm just like, great, let's watch this 4-hour stream where I never said that. It's a hilarious picture, but obviously that was never a reality.
And now that we've done the research, yeah, he's fucking right again.
Which is why I wasn't concerned about being sued in the first place, despite his crying, kicking, and screaming. Besides his course, he also offers an app, which was terrible and had some of the worst reviews I've ever seen on the Android store. And to this, he says,
it sucked. Our first 6 months were bad, and it was a big learning experience. The app is very good right now. And
so in response to all this, he just launched another app. You want to develop an app, mate?
And
let's develop an app.
A couple weeks when we launch 6.0 that our development team built from the ground up, millions of dollars, is going to be incredible in the marketplace.
By the way, I just found this funny screenshot. I'm not trying to insinuate anything, but I did see on the r/Caleb Hammers subreddit. And my question is, who would be hurt if Caleb toned down the comments about women's bodies? It has 0 upvotes and 48 comments. Okay. Listen, I'm not trying to insinuate anything. I just thought this was a funny screenshot when I was setting up the segment. But hey guys, who'd be mad if Caleb stopped going after women's bodies? Not a huge deal. All right, I'm not trying to be bad faith. I just thought it was funny. I'm sorry.
Place of apps.
Has anybody told you that you remind them of Donald Trump? See, now I'm pulling a Caleb Hammer. I'm not actually responding to what he said. This is just.
But even then, he was doing the Trump mannerism on purpose. Like that's why you had that thought. That's why you've said this, because he was joking around and fucking acting like, yeah, that was what he was trying to do.
A straw man, but the marketplace of apps. Okay, Caleb. That being said, okay, so you haven't fixed the app yet, meaning I was right in pointing out that in its current version, it's not a good product. It's funny. I think if you had like maybe watched the edited version of my...
Yeah, maybe if you watched any of what he said before you went live, and watched through the whole thing and thought about it instead of just... I presume he gunned it, because that's what it looks like. Maybe he did pre-watch, in which case you should quit drama. You should quit drama anyway, but you should seriously quit drama if that was a pre-watch stream, and you weren't just reacting live and angry.
My video before...
Dude, when I used to coach hockey, we had a thing. When I coached high school hockey, we had a thing called the 24-hour rule. You could be as mad as you fucking want, but you have to wait 24 hours before you contact anybody. And usually, that made things a whole lot easier, you know? You should apply that line of logic to everything in YouTube drama. You should have a 24-hour rule where you wait, see what's going on. Unless it's a surefire thing or it's something that doesn't really matter, you should give it 24 hours to see what happens if it's serious or if you're threatened to buy it. And then wait and see. And then when your emotions are in check, then you talk about it. Okay? It is not a good idea to shoot from the hip when you're offended by something somebody said about you. That doesn't always end well. Nobody rushes and goes, I wish I talked about this faster. Ever. Literally ever. Especially the turkey top thing.
For hopping on the live, you might have realized that there was very little for you to actually...
Everything comes back to hockey with you. Well, it's a thing where it's like, this is the life experience that I could pull from on this specific issue.
Say. Anyway, We're finally getting to the end of this. Yes, believe it or not.
Unless you're high and... No. If I used the 24-hour rule when I was buying the Xbox, I wouldn't own it.
There is a light at the end of the tunnel. One of the most important points in my video was that Caleb Hammer does not seem to understand the concept of consent. Not just talk.
Oh God, dude. Fuck. Okay, wait, hold on.
Talking about, oh, we all can.
Dude, holy shit, wait.
Bruce.
I have not watched Heated Rivalry, to be clear. I remember Heated Rivalry came out and people were saying it's really cool that they're having a gay drama for hockey because it's bringing in new people and normalizing like gay people in a space that is predominantly, a lot of hockey players are like very conservative. So it's cool that like this is an opening for a lot of different people who don't like that to jump in and join the sport. And then a couple months later, a lot of the hockey players were saying, it's really fucking weird that people are shipping me with my teammates. Please stop sexualizing us because you watched a TV show. And then everyone was just like kind of awkward because there was a big push for Heated Rivalry because it was bringing in new people, but then it brought in shippers like fucking Bylers from Stranger Things trying to ship real life people who aren't gay and have wives, and it got really awkward. And then hockey players had to put out statements about it.
Commentator of the year.
Yeah, dude, it's everything's fucking shippers ruin everything, dude. Shippers ruin fucking everything.
That Caleb Hammer does not seem to understand the concept of consent. Not just talking about, oh, we all consented to call people slurs together, so it's okay. I went over an allegation of somebody saying that he touched them and it was unwanted. And Caleb's response initially was like, oh, well, I recorded me getting consent. And I was saying that does not matter at all, actually. Recorded consent doesn't mean somebody was consenting to everything that you're doing, right? And Caleb says this.
Getting consent is not enough anymore?
I think where he's going is...
All right, I don't know what the allegation is. It's kind of dumb to not put... I think we should watch the original because I don't know what the situation this is. Okay, let's see.
So the person who he was talking about here came forward on Reddit and said, no, yeah, that was me, by the way, who got...
what the fuck? I got Caleb banned from Hinge, Bumble, and Tinder.
Got him banned off of not just Hinge, but Bumble and Tinder as well. And they explained, now this is, I'm not going to actually read this for you verbatim, but...
I mean, you probably should if this is a serious allegation. I don't... Yeah, we're back to Scott. I don't think Scott covered this.
Quite strange, triggering.
Was this one not even in the Scott Schaefer video?
Content.
This is from Snark, by the way.
Talking about how he was touching her without consent and it was just immensely uncomfortable.
Wait, this can't be Caleb Hammer. This wasn't even a guy.
The reason... I believe allegations regardless of...
Dude, I'm never going to forget Scott Schaefer. His entire second half of the video is like, you're secretly gay.
Of anything, really. There's no reason to try to discredit people coming forward. But the reason that you know that at the very least this person is the one who Caleb was talking about was because Caleb came on Reddit and tried to react to this and be like, oh, nah, here we go with the over-sensationalism that we can't...
All right, but you should read it and then read his response.
Seem to get over since
that's probably that. I mean, this is a bit fucking reckless.
DeOrio, commentator of the year.
This should be in your video. Like, if you're gonna
Caleb
talk,
should hire Turkey T to script his drama response.
No, yeah, true. That was another thing. Like, fucking Null came out and was like, he had like a crack team of like Nick, Augie, and everybody writing his video for you. And like, you look at the video, it's just Tom showing additional context to the text messages that got released. Like, any fucking retarded person could make that video. It's not like it doesn't take like an expert in fucking optics or whatever to navigate around and make a video. It's include the leaked audio recording, show your text messages or something. That's literally all it would require.
2020. How much you want to bet he's finna over sensationalize the heck out of this? This is what...
And with that, like, I don't even know why Noel cares. He got taken for a ride. I mean, for the most part, the majority of the stuff that he did was just listen and let these people tell their story publicly, and he's gonna get a bunch of shit for it. I don't know why he's like doubling down now. He's not doubling down on everything, but I don't know why he's doing what he's doing now. It's stupid.
Why my creator friend?
I would just fucking kick the dirt off my shins and move on. It's not really a huge deal.
Privately recommended I get consent recorded, and we live in a single party consent recording state. So after the insanity of last year, guess what? I did. It doesn't matter if you record somebody giving you their consent. It doesn't matter. That's not a gotcha.
No, I mean, I think that if somebody's coming out, again, I don't have the actual allegation full here, and he doesn't show it in the video, but if you got like a recording of somebody, first of all, it's creepy as fuck to record somebody without their consent in a sexual thing, in a sexual context, without them knowing. Is that what's happening here? Just to get them to consent? That's like kind of weird, but whatever. But if they did consent to you in the moment and they retroactively decided that it was weird later, then no, that actually is super valuable. You can't
Nick
retroactively change
viciously
consent.
on Twitter.
Right? Like I don't agree with this.
Not just Hinge, but Bumble.
Dude, because listen, if we make because I understand what he's saying, but if we make the executive decision here that even verbal consent doesn't mean that you actually have consent, I don't know what the fuck you're supposed to do. Well, you can't go by signs. You can't go by verbal consent. Like, when can you have sex with somebody if you can't even take verbal consent? Please tell me I'm missing something here because I don't have all the context.
And Tinder as well.
Vibes? No, you can't go off vibes either.
Oh, and they explain, now this is
written.
I'm not going to actually read this for you verbatim, but quite strange.
I mean, the safest thing you can do is not have like sex or touch people that you met on Tinder without knowing them for a substantial amount of time, but whatever.
And triggering content talking about how he was touching her without consent and it was just immensely uncomfortable. The reason, I believe allegations regardless of anything really. There's no reason to try to discredit people coming from.
Okay, well, I totally fucking disagree with you. I think I believe allegations, regardless of anything, and there's no reason to discredit people, is like an insane thing, and you haven't learned your lesson yet, and you'll eventually figure it out, probably.
But the reason that
that's a fucking crazy. I totally disagree with that.
No, that at the very least, this person is the one who Caleb was talking about, was because Caleb came on Reddit and tried to react to this. And be like, oh, nah, here we go with the over sensationalism that we can't seem to get.
Yeah, that's fucking insane.
Over since 2020. How much?
He's like Nick is not green pre-drama. Yeah, that gave me that vibe. It's like insanely bad vibes off him here.
You want to bet he's finna over sensationalize the heck out of this. This is why my creator friends privately recommended I get consent recorded, and we live in a single party consent recording state. So after the insanity of last year, guess what? I did. It doesn't matter if you record somebody giving you their consent. It doesn't matter.
No, it actually fucking does. It actually does fucking. Now, if you're arguing that if they consent to something initially, it doesn't mean they consented to the entire night, I agree with you. That's totally correct, but you're not really elaborating on this at all whatsoever and telling us what your issue with it is. You're just saying so far that you don't think that verbal consent matters when people claim things are bad later. Unfortunately, it does.
That's not a gotcha. This is an absolutely horrible start to this sort of response, which we're not going to go through the whole thing. I just feel like I
think that you should have gone through the whole thing.
A strong enough opening for you to understand this guy has everything so backwards. Little does this performative person who is chalking up.
Yeah, this is like, I can talk to my capture audience and they're not going to push back on me here, which is whatever. Okay.
It was just a bad date. I voice message recorded our entire conversation that she's talking about, and it exposes her for all her lies. But F it, she wants to harm my career, so let's expose her. So yeah, bit by bit, he starts going through. She said that there was a camera in the room, which made her uncomfortable. And he said, yes, as a public figure, I have a security system. Okay, you got to answer.
It's not any private places like bedrooms or bathrooms, but typically in security places. That's totally fine.
For everything. She said that he touched her leg after she said no. And he says that's beyond incorrect. I made
as long as you're not putting it in private locations, then yeah, I don't have an issue with having security cameras in your house.
A move. She looked at me odd. I pulled away and asked if it was okay. And she specifically said yes, so I did it again. And she said no, she didn't consent, Caleb. That's the only point that she was making. I don't think hopping on Reddit and being like, actually, here are the specifics of why every single point of this was wrong. And I'm
I just fundamentally disagree with him on this.
going to treat this like YouTube drama with the receipts. Here's my
can I go back to this? Touched leg after she said no, beyond incorrect. I made a move. She looked at me odd. I pulled away and asked if it was okay. And she specifically said yes. So I did it again. And she said, no, I didn't mean yes like that. I meant it was okay that it happened. So I removed my hand. Mixed signals used to be okay. Used to be okay, let's move on. But in 2025, yeah, again, I don't. Is that what she's claiming? All right, I just need to pull up this fucking Reddit thread. Just so I can make a judgment on it. Because I can't do bits and pieces, man. I got Caleb banned from Hinge, Bumble. Let's go. I got Caleb banned from Hinge, Bumble, and Tinder. Let's go. Let's do it. All right, sharing my story. Yeah, arbitrary. Okay, content. Sharing my story because despite what he claimed, it was a real person who went on a really horrible date with him and it was reported to the apps. No, I'm not a devoted hater or fan. I'm just a girl who lives in Austin looking for a boyfriend who made the mistake of going out with him. This is a very brief overview of what happened. I met with him. We met up for a date this a few weeks ago. Everything seemed fine, nice, dorky opinion of he was cute. We seemed to go out to eat. We were supposed to go out to eat when we met, but it was an early time for dinner, so he asked if I wanted to hang out at his place for a little bit before dinner. I was definitely apprehensive about this. I was literally just going to meet him, but he said he would live really close by and I wasn't looking to hook up or hang out until we got hungry. I agreed. I keep in mind he said he lives. I don't care about this. Boom, boom, boom. Here it is. Okay. I should note that while I'm not personally a fan, just hadn't really seen his content other than a few shorts and a video of Graham Stephan, who I am a big fan of, reacting to him. He told me and Graham were like best buds. I don't know why, but that did make me trust him more. I don't care about that. He also hadn't given me any indication of being creepy. He was nice and funny. This changed very quickly once we started driving. He put his hand on my upper thigh, and I quickly pushed it off, saying, I'm not ready for that. He said, oh, sorry, you're just attractive, whatever. And I said, it's okay. This is weird. Because he's saying he recorded it. Is he recording like an interaction in his car prior to putting his hand on her leg? Because that sounds fucking stupid. Like he knew that that tells me he knew like I'm going to put my hand on her leg now. I've got to get this recorded. He's talking about in the house, I think. Okay. He said recorded in the house. Okay. Well, that. All right, so the first interaction is in the car. A couple minutes later, he put his hand back on, and I said, what are you doing? I literally had just told him no. He said, oh, I thought you said it's okay. So I had to clarify, I meant it was okay that it happened, not that I'm okay with it. This sounds like what he's talking about later. At that point, I started getting really nervous and realizing I didn't really know anything about this person I was in a car with, but I didn't want to overreact, and maybe he had a misunderstanding my very clearly stated physical boundaries. So it was like, this changed when we started driving. He put his hand on my upper thigh. I quickly pushed it off, and I said... I'm not ready for that. He said, oh, sorry, you're attractive, whatever. I said, it's okay. So, yeah. That sounds like the story that I read before. But still, I suggested we not go to his house and maybe go somewhere more neutral to do a more date-like activity, which he started saying there's not really anything to do around here. Mind you, we're in Austin. We're like in the middle of downtown. He also told me there's a bit of traffic, so it'll be a bit further to get to the house. Mind you, he hasn't said that he lives really close by. It was 30 minutes away. We initially were going to watch TV, but we couldn't because the couch was covered in a sticky substance. I don't know what it was, but it covered the entire couch, seeming like a sticky oil substance. He blamed the dog walker. He asked if I want to tour the house. The tour ends in the bathroom where he asked me to take a bath in front of him. At this point, it was full on scary. So the touching thing seemed like it was above it, right? Am I wrong? Okay. I started to think about the couch being all covered in oil. I looked to the side of me and I thought there was a camera pointed at me. And I was like, oh, fuck. So I moved away from him on the other side of the island. We were in the kitchen at this point. He said, you're making me really uncomfortable. At this point, he was like, no, why are you saying that? Get away from me. Point out that you were in a situation with a girl alone. Yeah, so what I'm getting out of this, and I'm not reading the entire thing, is that was like identical to the story that Caleb said. Where is the Hammer Time mod? So here we can go at over sensationalism. That's the screenshot of the response. Fuck it. If you want to know my career, let's talk about it. The couch was like, yeah, the cleaners left before we got there. Camera in the room. Yes, it's in a public figure. I have a security system. Touch leg after she said no. Beyond incorrect. I made a move and she looked at me odd. I pulled away and asked if it was okay. And she specifically said yes. So again, she said, no, I didn't mean yes like that. I meant it like it happened. So I removed my hand. Mixed signals used to be okay. Let's move on. But in 2025, this evidently means R word and insane internet culture. Intentionally bumping into her and touching her during the house tour. Okay. So wait, where is the... This is why my... So after the insane... Guess what? I did. So he says he got consent recorded in a single party consent state. And the consent part, my understanding is this. This is the consent thing. That means he was recording her in her car. It's not there. Where's the full comment? This is the rest, because he deleted it. Like, why even respond? That does sound creepy, to be honest. I tried to make a move, ladies and gents. Horrid thing to do. She rejected. It's okay to move on. 2025 means the R word. No, I didn't ask her to take a bath in front of me. Sat down angry when she said no. This is where I started recording. So he started recording here because I knew exactly how this bullshit works in today's cancellation economy. I sat down and was confused because when I suggested anything, including just leaving, she said no. I was puzzled. Okay. I see what the chat means. And I see what, unfortunately, I see what D'Angelo Wallace means. he leads off saying, I got consent on recording. But it's very clear that this part isn't recorded. And the consent for all of this would have been after. It wouldn't have been before. He didn't lead off and say, hey, do I have consent to do this? Like he's implying. He got consent after he felt threatened. That's not getting consent. That's recording because you feel like you're in danger. Am I wrong? I guess the Uber driver was a creep too. Where is that? So let me go back to the consent thing. This is where I started recording because I knew exactly how this bullshit works in today's cancellation economy. So you're recording for personal safety. You're not recording to get consent. I sat down and I was confused because when I suggested anything including just leaving, she said no. So I was puzzled and started to become concerned, trying to go to a weird dirt patch. I eventually asked if she'd like to go to a walk because she couldn't leave, and in no way did I want to go on an hour-long... Okay, I don't care. My neighbor doesn't have any sidewalks, and yeah, I made a joke or whatever, asking sexual questions. So then, yeah, I don't understand what he means. Where does he start saying I got consent? Oh my god, and he just starts dropping her... Okay, I don't know. I guess, like, if she's lying, I don't know what's happening in this message. This is just insane. On top of that, nearly every major cancellation of the past year has been refuted with facts. The attention-seeking loser. This is why just Caleb should not be responding to any of this. Why is he doing this? But for what it's worth, she's going through a hard time. She was fired from her job a few weeks ago. We can give her some slack there. See, this is, like, cowardly. You're name-dropping her. Which, whatever, sure. But then you're saying that she's having a hard time right now, and you're mocking her for being fired from her job, but pretending you're doing it nicely. We can give her some slack there. It's also worth nothing that everyone at work can attest to the fact that I told What is happening here? Why are you doing this? I don't know. Whatever. Cool. Okay. I mean, I think Caleb's response to this is truly awful. I also think, though, if this is, like, limited to... his couch was sticky. I mean, this is just like, yeah, the allegation that I read so far. I'm not going all the way down. Unless he like super giga rapes at the end. The allegation being the couch is sticky. There are cameras in my living room. I touched your leg. You weren't into it. I didn't realize. I put my hand back on your leg. And then I stopped doing that when I realized I was wrong. I don't think that's like the worst thing on planet Earth. But everything he's saying here about, like, I got consent doesn't sound like he got consent when he said so. But ever since I've been getting videos of you high-pitched yelling at poor people, I don't know. It's okay, lol, I get it. Worst date for me, big off day for both of us. It happens. Hopefully it just allows you to swipe left. Yelling at poor people feels a bit oversimplified. That's fair. I do think you owe me an apology. I'm headed to bed. I would really prefer not to have a confrontational conversation, but of course I wish the date went better. It's okay that we don't vibe. It happens, and I apologize for wasting your time. I'm sure you'll have many successful dates in Austin. Have a great night. Sleep well. So it's like, I don't know. This seems like it was resolved okay. You've removed Caleb Hammer from... I mean, yeah, I don't know. Is this a bit egregious? What else happens in here? Caleb looks more worse the more I learn about him. Yeah, I mean, yeah. Yeah, that's fair. It was getting dark out. I couldn't see. We walked a little bit. He pointed at a super overgrown path and said, that's a nice walk. It's definitely not where I will kidnap and murder you. I think he was just kidding at this point, but who knows? I mean, that's if he said that, that's like a nuclear thing to say when you know you're bombing on a date. Internally, I freaked out. I started praying to God, please don't help me. You have like no fight or flight instincts. You have to get out of there. If you think that you're in like immediate danger, I don't know why you're not just calling an Uber and leaving. At that point, hey, hi. Oh, I didn't pre-watch. At this point, I think he gave up because he said, you know, we're not vibing. Why don't you get an Uber? I was like, oh, that's not too bad, but also happy because, you know, I was getting to leave. Yeah, I'm going back to like fight or flight on this one. If you were feeling like there was oil on the thing and you're being filmed, you should have left. But whatever, it's not really a critique. Just more like an observation. I was like, oh no, that's bad, but I'm really happy because, you know, I'm getting to leave. I will say it was really, really messed up to bring a girl 30 minutes away. I was 40 minutes away from where I live just to make her Uber home. Like any decent person, I mean, you should have paid for the, I mean, I would pay for the Uber. But I followed him back to the house and got an Uber. He did offer multiple times to, oh, okay, then he did that. But I literally didn't want his money. Okay, then this all is completely irrelevant because it's not messed up if you're offering to pay for said Uber to bring them back. Why would you drive somebody home that's uncomfortable around you? and then complain about it while also simultaneously acknowledging that you just didn't take the money. No, this is stupid. His response makes this worse. Yeah, that's what I'm going to argue here, is I think that you could just ignore this probably. I don't know. Again, maybe he's like a turbo rapist by the end of it, but I think you can literally just ignore this entire thing. I think most people would come away from this saying, hey, this looks like a really weird mixed signal or something, and a bunch of like a really shitty date. But then Caleb Hammer jumps in and he's like, I got consent. I know the way that this works. You are calling me a rapist. And it's like, oh, ooh, now this sounds worse. Now it sounds like you've done something wrong. And I think that's kind of the issue with a lot of Caleb Hammer's controversies, is that every time he talks about something, he just makes himself look like significantly more guilty than he even in some cases might be. So that's why my mind is blown that he chooses to host a live show where he just talks about things. It's causing him so much trouble because he's not good at this. This is the worst aspect of his career, is when he has to engage with stuff like this. And now he's willingly choosing to do it in scenarios that he shouldn't be, that don't have anything to do with him. Caleb was the first one to bring this up in a TikTok, so then she came to Reddit to explain. I mean, that's even fucking crazier. Then you're kind of asking for it. I just went along with whatever he said at the end, and when I was booking my Uber, I actually sent my mom my location just because I had been afraid to do it before he was watching me. He was like, you're not uncomfortable? And I said, I'm not uncomfortable. Okay. He said, you're not going to dox me, which obviously I'm not. And then after all this bullshit, this man had the audacity to ask me on a second date. He told me he actually didn't like hooking up and it made him feel bad. No shit if that's how you do it. To be fair, he's actually looking for a wife, and he said, you're okay, none of this matters at this point. Did I miss something? He was really mad. Give you plenty of things to do. Keep in mind, things to do are option A, take off all your clothes and get in a bath. B, get an oil massage, which I assume would come with other clothing removal possibilities. I mean, it sounds like you guys went on a walk. I don't know. Yeah, I just wouldn't respond to this.
Just Hinge, but Bumble and Tinder as well. And they explain, now this is, I'm not going to actually.
You can call it lying, but you can also you can also call it placating to avoid any negative reaction. It's gray. Yeah, again, that situation gets infinitely worse the minute Caleb opens his mouth. He just makes it sound like significantly more sinister.
Let me read this for you verbatim, but quite strange, triggering content talking about how he was touching her without consent, and it was just immensely uncomfortable. The reason I believe allegations.
So when I was initially watching this, I was like, oh, well, getting consent doesn't matter. I hate what he just said here.
And it was just immensely uncomfortable. The reason.
And you know what? This is the problem with D'Angelo Wallace's approach to this, is he just didn't read the whole thing and then read the whole Caleb response. Because if he did, he would realize that he didn't get consent for these things. And it really just was a seriously awkward moment in the car. He just said he got consent for it because he started recording like hours later. I don't know why he said that.
I believe allegations regardless of anything, really. There's no reason to try to discredit people coming forward. But the reason that you know that at the very least this person is the one who Caleb was talking about was because Caleb came on Reddit and tried to react to this and be like, oh, nah, here we go.
Yeah, no, you just didn't do enough looking at this, because I don't agree with your... Like, I don't agree with his fucking thing here, but, like, it's still bad.
That if some...
It's still a horrible response, and it still basically kind of comes off as, like, a lie.
Somebody gives you consent.
They can take it away.
They can take it away.
Yeah, I don't know, dude. I wouldn't look at that and go, I just believe everybody, because that sounds fucking crazy.
I get it before and after, D'Angelo, you fucking weirdo. Why cover the shit you're talking about when you're trying to destroy something?
Yeah, I think that's the right way to put it. Hey, Keldoge, thank you for the raid. That's the right way to put it. D'Angelo is ignorant because he just thinks that everybody who ever makes an allegation ever is right. And don't say that I'm being uncharitable, Mr. Wallace, if you watch this, because this is literally my takeaway.
On Reddit is the one who Caleb was talking. I believe allegations regardless of anything, really. There's no...
I believe allegations, regardless of anything, really is a stupid thing to... That's a fucking insane point.
No reason to try to discredit people coming forward.
There's no reason to try to discredit people. I'll give you one reason. Yeah, I think the majority of people who are levying allegations of abuse and misconduct to men are probably telling the truth. I think the vast majority of them. I also think that the people who are actually lying about this, maybe even 1%, are most largely packed in influencer circles. So yes, while I do think the vast majority of women who say these things, you should just believe... Well, not you should just believe. They're probably telling the truth. The business that we are in, the business that we are covering, the drama that we are covering is taking place where there's going to be a high surplus of that 1%. That's where you're going to see it. It's here. It's in places where there are large financial incentives that people are stupidly believing that they could possibly take from it. So I think it's ignorant to say that we just believe everybody for any and we're non-inquisitive when people bring up allegations. And people have fought me on this one, but my argument is as follows: if you're coming out and you don't have evidence of anything, you probably shouldn't like re-victimize yourself, because unfortunately, there are probably real victims who have gotten wrapped up in YouTube drama and doxxed and harassed, who actually probably were victims of something, but ultimately didn't have anything to back up their own story. I do think that like police and stuff is probably the best way to go about it. I don't necessarily think running to Twitter is always your best option. But yeah, I think you have to acknowledge the fact that like this business breeds clout demons. As fucked as that is to say, it happens. It really does happen. You have to kind of like go la la la, can't hear you, and close your eyes to not see that there is a pattern of behavior when it comes to stuff like this. And those people who get fucked over, who get bullied and have to get re-victimized, and they are actual victims, those people get fucked over because there are so many bad faith actors who are coming in here and ruining it for everybody else, right? They're ruining it for content creators. They're ruining it for women. You always hear the statement like, this is why we don't all believe victims, and this is, you're doing a disservice to victims everywhere. And that's not just like fucking sentence enhancing filler. That's true. That's a thing that happens.
But the reason that you know that at the very least this person is the one who Caleb was talking about was because Caleb came on Reddit and tried to react to this. And
in this case, he started it though. Oh, hold on. I am not saying that that person is a fucking clout demon. I don't know enough about the situation. I read half her post and I read most of Caleb's. I'm talking about just generalizing the fact that I've done 7 years of covering allegations on YouTube. And I've done this. I've been around the block. I've heard every story. I've watched every video.
What's the name
this
of
is just my input from a grandiose scale.
Nick Oreo. Mr. Oreo.
D'Angelo's overall point is that Caleb plays funny around consent with the guests on his show, and this Reddit post is an example of that. He's not focusing on the allegation itself, just the way Caleb plays fast.
I get what you're saying, but when you're talking about an allegation, you should give it the respect of focusing on it individually. You can't just half-cock a fucking allegation like this, where, again, I didn't even know the full scope by watching this video of what even happened. You need to provide the context, because it's like a fucking serious situation. That's my issue with D'Angelo. I get his overall point, but you can't just kind of half-cock a story that the audience doesn't understand, and use parts of it that help. You know, you should just fucking explain it, right? He's focusing a bit much on this. Yeah. And I don't know if I'd even disagree with his main argument.
Be like, oh, nah, here we go with the over sensationalism that we keep.
And I don't think that based off what he's saying here, I don't even know if he's read it offline.
Someone's life. Dude, you're an asshole. You're a bad.
Okay, just to be clear, the correct way to, like, the way to correct this take, in my opinion.
I believe allegations, regardless of anything, really. There's no reason to try to discredit people coming forward. But the reason that you know that at the very least this person is the one who Caleb was talking about.
Trust but verify. That's it. That's how you can maintain your status. Not your status. I'm not even saying this is like a grift or anything. He probably believes this, but trust but verify is a better policy that you should implement.
Person. She tried to make it sound like I fucking raped her for trying to put my hand on her leg. D'Angelo, you don't understand the impact of the words you have. You can destroy people's lives and it is not funny. This is why no one believes.
Why are you like molesting your microphone?
Allegations anymore.
He's molesting his microphone.
Or because of people like you. He said Cody Co was wrong for not responding, and now he's freaking out for me for responding.
It's really.
Yeah, and again, if the allegation is so bad, why are you like puffing it up? You know, like what's the...
Really simple, guy. If somebody says I didn't consent to something, you can burn yourself out, bend over backwards, try to tear the stars from the sky trying to prove that they did. It doesn't matter. I wasn't...
And here's where I'll give a few points back to D'Angelo. His takeaway in the beginning, like the donator just said, is that I don't think Caleb understands consent. And then I just read Caleb Hammer's response, and it was, I got consent for this. I started recording her when I was in danger at the end of our date. If Caleb Hammer thinks that's consent, then I don't know if Caleb Hammer understands consent. Now, am I calling him a rapist in that one? No, I think you can see where my logic trail starts and ends, just to be clear. If he thinks that consent is when you pull out your phone and start recording somebody near the end of your date before you go for a walk after an insanely awkward interaction, that's not what that is, Caleb.
And acting like, oh, Caleb Hammer needs to be deplatformed. I was just saying that you hate women because you get called out by women. Actually, more frequently than that one post. We're going to get to that in a second. Anyway, the last point I made in my video, the ultimate conclusion I left with was that even some of his current viewers are just tired of him constantly going after the worst people. And it's not even good content at this point.
You can't say that. You get no views. We do. Fuck you. You're nothing. How are you the owner?
And again, okay, Caleb, listen to this.
Tired of him constantly going after the worst people. And it's not even good content at this point.
You don't make good content. Well, unfortunately for you, my audience disagrees, and that's why they choose to watch me. I don't think that my content is the best content on planet Earth, but thankfully there's an audience of people who like to support me, so that's enough for me. That's what you should say there. What does he say?
Constantly going after the worst people, and it's not even good content at this point.
You can't say that. You get no views. We do. Fuck you. You're.
See, that's not the right way to answer that, Caleb. That's not... Dude, all this tells me is you're crazy insecure, because instead of no, I think my content's fine and lots of people enjoy it, you're doing no, your content sucks. You're just jealous. You wish you could make as much money. You are bad. That doesn't tell me that you're confident about the product that you deliver, your show. That tells me that you're upset because he's being mean to you.
Nothing. How are you the owner of all content on the internet determining what is good and bad? 3, 2, 1.
This show is not for you, and that's okay.
Is it though? You're saying that, but your statement doesn't say that. The stuff that you're saying doesn't line up with that take.
Die. Not actually.
Yeah, dude, proceeds to crash out while crying. Yes, those two chats work together in harmony, like the avatar and the elements. But yeah, he's just sitting here like sobbing, saying like, no, your content sucks. Your content's shit. Also, it's not made for you. Oh yeah, I don't know about that one.
Nicholas the Goat, thank you for the $5, my man.
Minecraft. No, just fucking. I'm losing my mind. D'Angelo, I love you. You're fine. I'm gonna sue you.
Not the first person who's.
This content is not for you, and that's okay. Also, I'm gonna sue you. Is really funny. That's really funny.
Ooh, and that's okay. Die. Not actually. Minecraft. No, just fucking. I'm losing my mind. D'Angelo, I love you. You're fine. I'm gonna sue you.
Oh my god, dude! Fucking stop! Oh, you are so getting sued right now. You're getting sued. I'm gonna be suing you.
Not the first person who's told me to die, but maybe the first person with 3 million subscribers who told me to die during a live stream and then immediately tried to play it off as a joke. Like, I am so chill right now because I did all the normal things of like, oh, let me go to sleep first. Let me wake up. Let me focus on some other things and collect my response to this. But like, what? Anyway, from there, you get this amazing stream outro.
That was the worst thing I've ever seen in my life. You have no idea what the fuck you're doing. You didn't research anything. You're a performative weirdo. You are not the moral arbiter of the world. You do not get to decide what is good content. You are nothing. You're pathetic. You've never
Dude, POV, an edgy YouTuber just found out that somebody doesn't like their video when they're edgy.
You have no idea what the fuck you're doing. You didn't research anything. You're a performative weirdo. You are not the moral arbiter of the world. You do not get to decide what is good content. You are nothing. You're pathetic. You've never
Suck it, lib.
Contributed to the world. We have real results, real lives, 50,000 people. Every guest that's been on the show, 25,000 hours in 12 months. You've done nothing. You'll never be remembered for anything. You're pathetic. You are 5 years ago, 10 years ago. We've all moved on. No normal person cares. And ladies and gentlemen, say it with me one last time.
This show is not for you, and that's okay.
You don't have to agree with a single thing that D'Angelo Wallace said in this video. Keep in mind, the take about consent is from the other video. So this video, you could disagree with every single thing that D'Angelo Wallace says, he still lost Caleb Hammer. Caleb Hammer still lost this conflict. Why even, dude, why even do YouTube drama when you were self-sabotaging this badly?
See you in court, bitch.
Oh my fucking, oh God, stop. Oh boy, that's bad. I fucking paused it too soon. Oh my God, Caleb Hammer. You need to quit streaming now. You need to quit streaming yesterday. What the fuck is this, dude?
For you, and that's okay.
See you in court, bitch.
Bye.
I need y'all to understand. I think I've only included like thus far about 7-ish minutes of him talking cumulatively, but the stream went on for more than 4 hours and 7 minutes. What was he doing in that 4 hours? Either repeating.
There's a KFC in Yemen.
Mouthy Hammer, Caleb Buddha, Tactical Audit.
Thank you, DGCO2.
His points, drilling down into unnecessary detail on each point. He would get stuck on every single argument for so long. It made this video so hard to like even try to respond to. But like, he was also just being unhinged the entire time. I cut out so many parts that just sounded like this.
I don't think you know this because everyone around you tells you you're a good person. You are a bad person.
I just feel like that's
you are a negative force in this.
Holy shit, dude. Wow. Holy, okay, well, all right.
World. You fuck.
I don't know if anything was going to come out there, but he paused at a very bad time.
I cut out
that was a very unfortunate pause.
So many parts that just sounded like this.
I don't think you know this because everyone around you tells you you're a good person. You are a bad person.
I just feel like that's
you are a negative force in this
dude
world.
That is the worst time to have a fucking moment like that.
You fucking stupid piece of over sensationalizing shit. You have done no
like that is such an unfortunate pause.
Research. You have ruined your career. What is wrong?
You have ruined your career. You haven't earned that line. We always talk about this. You haven't earned that line. It looks really corny if you haven't kicked somebody's ass when you say it.
D'Angelo, dude, you are a broken individual. You have no ability to actually understand what people are saying. People like this actually need to be held accountable for the fact that they just say things and then they move on and there's no consequences. You're a bad person, D'Angelo. That is an actual lie.
Y'all remember earlier when I was talking about projection?
This video has discredited all of your previous work because now
dude, your entire backlog is gone. Fuck you, dude. Every stream you've ever done, you are done. You're out of this community. We're not having you.
You know, you don't research and you just virtue signal about everything, meaning nothing you say and everything should be questioned.
This is like lolcow behavior. Yeah, D'Angelo poked him with a stick and he exploded.
That you've ever said.
This is a verbal controller throw after a death in Call of Duty.
This video has confirmed that. Because this is really bad. This is really bad, man.
How much research does it take to call a spade a spade? He seems to be really hung up on the fact that I was not making a video essay. I was just on a stream.
I don't mean to rip off a D'Angelo talking point, but he sounds like a blue-haired SJW. He does. He actually does. He's like crashing out like the humongous person. Like, I'm sorry, humongous what? I'm gonna sue you.
How much does it take to call a spade a spade? He seems to be really hung up on the fact that I was not making a video essay. I was just on a stream saying, oh, this is bad, and it's kind of a point in the larger trend of bad things I've been talking about, so I want to get into it. He doesn't seem too familiar with me, so it's okay if he didn't know this going in. But this is my third channel. I'm not on my main channel. I'm not even on the second channel I made. Truly, the only point of the content here is just for me to yap and for people to watch it if they find it interesting. I wasn't streaming thinking your career was going to end. Surface level commentary, because what you're doing is obvious. You are literally a bigot. I'm not wrong about these things. You are bigoted in this video, ignoring my criticisms because I'm part of the community or whatever.
When people use like the word misogynist from your community, if I'm grouping you wrong, I'm sorry, but what I'm assuming is you guys.
Dude, it sounds like he's like items like making a joke about like the woker or something. You know what I mean? Like But like it's real. It's like your community, the woker, has come for me.
Just weaponize that word. You don't actually mean it, and it's impossible.
It's just cringe. Yeah, it's cringe. This is like a time machine take.
For anyone to prove they're not.
First of all, what community? To Caleb's knowledge, I wasn't part of any community, which I think is hilarious. But I'll help you out. Yes, I am non-binary. I'm a non-binary man. I use he, him pronouns exclusively to look at somebody and assume, oh, you must be queer. So I'm not going to listen to anything you're saying. But
all right. Listen. To be clear, your room is pink. So I don't think I would describe it quite that way, but your room is pink.
Buddy, you're big.
It's pretty cool. Like I was trying to figure out if it was a green screen and I realized it right here. But it is pink.
Where do we go from here? You actually did this by sight. You did this from jump before I had ever opened my mouth.
It should probably be very sane and normal. Then I looked at them and can we see that? I'm not expecting very much.
What did you glean from a simple
non-binary man? I'm not even gonna try. I'm not even gonna try. Yeah, I that doesn't make sense to me either, but I don't fucking know.
Picture of me. I'm
not gonna tell this non-binary man they're not a non-binary man. I don't care.
Black. Okay.
That's not how, I was under the assumption that it doesn't work like that, but I have no idea.
Why would that lower your expectations? I wear weird clothes. That has nothing to do with anything. I'm gender non-conforming. Why would these
I thought that was like a tap out shirt, but is it an anime thing?
be reasons to count me out? Caleb, I never looked at your content, saw the outside of you, and said, I'm gonna Actually, I did. I went to this man's TikTok and I scrolled through all of his thumbnails and saw him in these pictures sitting next to these women showing like, oh, I bet this content is bigoted. But the reason I was able to do that was the framing. I didn't do this because of who you are. Meanwhile, you turn around and you think you're doing the same thing to me, but the only crime I committed was being not what you think I should be. It's kind of interesting. You suck really bad. And nothing you said in the 4-hour live stream has disproven that. If anything, you just proved so many of my points. Dare I say every point? So, wow. The video is no longer called I'm Suing D'Angelo.
Oh god, bro.
But it is called D'Angelo Wallace is trying.
That is super fucking cringe for all the times he mentions like lawsuits, even in the clips that we're seeing here. I can't imagine that's all of them.
To cancel.
Yeah, I mean, unfortunately, dude, you listen, if your goal was to come out here and say that you're edgy and you don't care and all this stuff, you've dramatically failed. And now this guy is just dancing on your corpse and calling you a bigot. And there's like not a person on planet Earth that would watch this charitably, unless they just see D'Angelo Wallace, like, fuck that guy. Then there's a person on Earth who would do it. But there's like not a person on planet Earth that would say that you won this conflict.
Me. Oh, but I proved him
like this is a insanely embarrassing L.
Wrong. You wouldn't be able to define the word cancel if your life depended on it. He comes back and pins a comment and says, I'm sure D'Angelo is a good guy in general.
Dude, he's probably writing that while he's like fucking punching a wall. I hate this.
And I know the internet slop community can get pretty intense, but if you're from his community, please listen. I know I can likely be more.
Dude, stop trying to pander. These people will always hate you. They hated you when they saw the first thumbnail that you fucking put on your channel. This is such a fucking stupid thing to do. You cannot be liked by everybody. Stop pandering to people who are like literally predisposed to hating you. They watch D'Angelo Wallace. They're not gonna like your content.
Over the top and say words you don't like, but I hope you're willing to actually hear my responses to
the minute that you said the word retard, these people were never coming back.
The criticisms he gave. So you acknowledge that I was giving criticism and not just trying to cancel you. Interesting. Anyway, I'm gonna tell you right now, nobody who follows me would actually be able to make it through your 4 hours.
Thank you. Holy fuck, he's right. He's fucking right.
Video. I was barely able to make it through your 4-hour video. You know what? Let me be honest about this. I had to read it. That's the only way I got. I could not listen to him speak for 4 hours because it was so soul draining. I had to be like, you know what? Let me just get the transcription of this and pretend it's like a Substack article. That way I can survive the editing of this. Get it out quickly.
DeOrio, commentator of the year, the best commentator of the year.
Move on with my life. Ain't nobody.
This is like the quartering losing to Lance from the Surfs. Well, I would argue D'Angelo is significantly more capable than either of those two people. Whether you like him or not, I wouldn't consider D'Angelo a comparison to Lance. in any stratosphere.
Finna watch
I think that he is capable.
that,
I just don't agree with him.
Caleb. But I still suggest that people do if they really want to see the unedited versions of his.
Is he? I love. He's like disavowed these videos, but the stuff that he did on like Jeffree Star and Toddy Westbrook was really good. Yeah, I mean, some of his long form videos are really good.
Live points. I'm not misrepresenting.
I don't think he likes them because I think parts of them aged poorly. But like for the time they were released, I thought they were really good.
Presenting him because the original video is still there. It's still online. You can go see what he said and see whether or not.
And again, I don't think D'Angelo Wallace on live stream, like randomly talking or whatever. Yeah, in this context or whatever, maybe you view him differently or whatever. But like his long form videos were fairly capable.
My interpretation of it was fair. Anyway, he says, and no, I don't sue for criticism, as people are saying. That would be every day of my life, if so. But when you claim that I do not provide any benefits to our guests, allude that our products are scams.
Now he's saying allude. Oh, all right. We're on the same page on this one.
Oh, see, he's realizing I never said the.
Oh, fuck. Yeah, I mean, Caleb. Caleb, yeah, he's fucking got you by the balls, Caleb.
Products were.
That was what I was thinking, and I'm a bigot, dude. They got your ass in 4K. You got me. I'm a bigot, and I'm agreeing with this guy.
A scam. The backtracking is wild, y'all. And say flat out that I am racist, homophobe, transphobia, and sexist. That's where the actual legal troubles can happen. No, they can't. You were never actually going to do anything. I had.
He's fucking got you by the balls, Caleb. This doesn't look good, Caleb.
So many people texting me like, oh, D'Angelo, he's going to sue you. He's going to sue you. I went to sleep. I was like, he's not going to do it.
He's got you by the fuck. He's literally he's cut your head off and dragging your body through town square. Dude, Caleb, what are you doing, Caleb? He's like fucking Machiavelli, not Machiavelli. Who the fuck was who was the Italian guy from World War II?
Anything. Not even because
he's just dragging you through town square.
Because I know too much about legal whatever mumbo jumbo.
Machiavelli's Tupac. Fucking Mussolini. He's Mussoliniing you.
I know this personality type. I was like, he's just crying because
he's fucking Mussoliniing the fuck out of you. The woker is Mussoliniing you, Caleb.
I dared criticize him. He says, a lawsuit tends to just give another creator more drama to react to, so it's more than likely nothing will happen. But these are serious things to discuss when creators make claims such as these. And you know that D'Angelo has destroyed people's careers, some rightfully and some unrightful. So ask yourself, how would you react? Okay, whose career have I destroyed? I would actually like to hear it. Hold on. Because I don't usually do this. Shane Dawson? Nope, he's still here. Shane Dawsoning it up. Y'all think I destroyed Cody Ko's career? Wow, here's Cody Ko, uploading more videos than I have been uploading recently. That's crazy. Because here's the thing. I didn't commit statutory rape, right? I didn't.
Holy shit!
Don blackface or groom minors. Cody Ko was accused of committing statutory rape. And I made a video saying, Cody Ko is accused of committing statutory rape, and many people in the commentary community are ignoring it because it's uncomfortable to talk.
Holy shit, we actually covered this.
If that is,
I think we actually covered this.
Me destroying someone's career rightfully or unrightfully, it's just not. I have no way of really responding.
This is a good take. That's a good fucking point. I can't name a single person that D'Angelo is actually like assassinated, but to point out an example where he probably should have, and then to say it didn't work is, yeah, it's a pretty good point.
To that's inaccurate. And to kind of just get back into Caleb's point, how would you react? Caleb, I wouldn't react. If some dude made a 90-minute,
like, I don't know how you'd prove that other than what he actually did.
Portion of his live stream saying, I don't like D'Angelo. You really think I'm gonna grab my friends, have them sit around with me so we can destroy this guy? That is unhinged. You got this comment. Someone said, I wonder then, being a thick-skinned Texan myself, if you and D'Angelo could have a public-facing conversation, two adult men around the same age. Nah. He is 30. Caleb is old. I know that I'm 27. So
See, I feel this energy as well.
Fortunately, I've lost my right to call people
As an iconic 20 fucking, yeah, dude,
who are
I'm
30
28.
old. We are around the same age. But bro, you are so old to be acting like this. Let's be real right now. Anyways, two adult men around the same age calmly expressing thoughts and concerns like grown-ups. And Caleb says, I'd be down. I DM'd him today to have, where did you DM me? I don't use social media. I didn't see it. That was never going to happen. Every few months, I remember I have an Instagram account, and so I will post a picture there. I'm wondering if maybe that's where that DM is, but okay, let's just keep going. I DM'd him today to have a genuine, productive convo now that we've cooled off.
Caleb, you just gotta stop talking, man. You just gotta stop talking, bro. Please, please just stop.
We will see if he's interested in that.
Dude, just
at or only content.
Caleb, you gotta stop. D'Angelo Wallace, I'm down to host the debate if you want. I don't think Caleb's gonna come.
Happy to chat to him and get his perspective.
I'm not doing this shit again, bro. It's not happening. Don't even get your hopes up. I don't think it's gonna happen.
And give him mine as well. My perspective is that you're racist and I'm black. I don't want to talk to you. I don't want to sit in a room with you. I don't want to give you the time of day. I've seen this tactic
Nicholas
before.
the goat,
this is a part where you're gonna be like, oh, see, D'Angelo.
I don't care about this, dude. I just say that he's like fucking crazy, crashing out. And after watching your 4-hour stream, I think I've got I think I've learned everything I could possibly know about your positions.
D'Angelo is intolerant. Oh, see, D'Angelo claiming to be part of the tolerant left or whatever you want to say.
I just think you weaken yourself to just doing the whole like you have like fucking racist thumbnails and you bring on a black guy and ask him if you're racist or not. So I won't talk to you. I think there's just like there's so many more like. There are so many stronger reasons that you could use.
Now he doesn't want to talk to me. You're right.
Like you're not required to sit down and talk to Caleb Hammer after he had a complete schizo meltdown for 4 hours.
I am deeply intolerant of you, Caleb Hammer. We're not finna have a conversation. We're not gonna kumbaya. We're not gonna kiki. This don't make no sense. It doesn't make any sense. And this is also how I know that on some level,
Nicholas,
you must have believed what you were saying in your live stream. That you think I don't believe anything I say in my videos. It's all because I know people will agree with me, or I just have to have.
No, I can vouch for this. He sounds exactly the same as he sounds like 7 years ago when we were fighting. It's the exact same positions. And I've checked in. I've watched some of his long form videos. This is just him, dude. This is what you get when you fight with D'Angelo Wallace and you give him literally all of the talking points for free. And you just let him sit here and just chip away at you because you crashed out for 4 hours on a live stream. This is D'Angelo Wallace.
Have the right opinion and virtue signal, as you say, but I meant every word. Unlike you, I'm not grifting. I'm not lying. I'm not faking anything in my content. If I said all these awful things.
And I'm not really sure I think that Caleb, you could argue that the metadata stuff, sure, whatever. I don't know if I would go as far to say grifting, but I kind of think that Caleb does think that he's telling the truth. And I think the issue might be
best commentator of the year.
We're going to play our favorite game. Is he stupid or malicious? I think Caleb might be dumb. I think there's a chance he's just an idiot. And every time I watch him live or hear him speak about any sort of YouTube drama, I think he's either extremely green and he can't navigate the space, or he's a lost cause and we should just take our losses and get out of here. Because all of his live show drama responses have been fairly bad, I guess. The only ones where I think he's gotten like any points are Scott Schaefer sometimes, but then like it was also kind of really stupid to sit here in my chat and take pot shots at Scott Schaefer and then decide to do a debate and then back out of the debate after saying that you would pay one of us if you backed out of the debate. That was probably like a bad idea to go into a drama YouTuber's chat and fight about it if you didn't want to just come on and talk about it. I just wouldn't do that.
It's because I believe them about you. Why would we?
I don't even know. Was I supposed to get that money or was he supposed to get that money? But there was a monetary bet if this debate didn't happen as well. This was just like a really stupid thing. I don't know why you did that.
Ever talk to each other in a public facing conversation. If you
And I'm not trying to like I don't want to bury him for backing out. I don't give a fuck if you want to have it on my show either. And he said that he wanted it to be on his stream and in the mornings, which didn't apply for my schedule. It's not like but it never happened. You never brought him on. Did you ever reach out to Scott to set it up? Scott Schaefer said, I said I would pay him, not the other way around. Oh, you said you pay him if he goes? I thought he said that he would pay me or you if he backs out. I might be wrong about that. But yeah, that's my issue is like, there's like, that's just like really not a good look. I think that a lot of his public facing interactions have really like, it's getting to the point where it's damaging his fucking brand, which otherwise is seemingly fine.
You want to have me on and I can walk you through the steps of deleting your channel and that could be your last video, sure, I'm down. I will look at my schedule. We can arrange that. But beyond that, dude, go kick rocks. I can't stress this enough. You suck really bad. And I would prefer never to think about you again. It's funny how I'm like, oh, go kick rocks. You suck. I don't want to talk. And his fans are finna be like, oh, wow, D'Angelo, such a baby, such a baby. Meanwhile, your fave was on there crashing out. Your fave was on there fighting for his life, trying to disprove.
This is kind of what I said. It's like after 4 hours, I think that you have plenty of reasons to not want to engage with him.
Even a single point that I had to call me the R slur 40 times. This is hilarious. Anyway, someone...
I said the live stream channel would be a downfall of my video, and I was right. 4-hour meltdown. I'll give you credit there. Yeah. I mean, I also said this to him privately. I think. I'm not going to read it. I mean, it's my message. I could read it if I want, but. Yeah, I told him not to do this. I think I gave good advice on the 17th of December.
Nick just started insulting me viciously on Twitter.
Oh, brother, kick rocks. Chris Griffin laugh.
Asks him, you suing or nah? And he says, likely not worth the time or energy.
Hey, thank you guys for hitting the goal. Yeah, now all of a sudden it's not worth the energy to sue him. This is just really fucking embarrassing.
Get worked up easy. So his reasons for not suing me, he doesn't want to give me more drama to react to. It's not worth his time or energy. Caleb, the reason you're not suing me is because you would be laughed out of court. I know that's what your lawyers told you. You said you were going to call them on Monday. You didn't need to call them. Nobody would ever pay attention to this in any serious context. I am an internet commentator and I said your videos were bad and you threatened to sue me. Anyway, his sort of last word-ish-esque thing that I pulled from Reddit was him saying, here's the thing. I've put a lot of care, time, and even money into trying to make the best educational resources we could. Okay, we get the point. He cares a lot about his audience, and he's doing this for the love of the game. So when I'm told I'm sexist, racist, transphobic, or homophobic to them, or in general, I take that personally. I love every single guest that has come on. Yes, we make over-the-top titles and thumbnails that lean into crude humor, and I roast the heck out of people and say bad words, but not only do we get consent 5 times before we do, they literally ask for it. This is probably the closest he's coming to like a decent response. It's still really stupid. Hey, you're putting out content that is spreading harmful news.
And this is the part where it's literally not going to ever be like... D'Angelo Wallace thinks it's like objectively evil. Is evil the right word? Just run with it. He thinks it's like morally bad, regardless of consent, regardless of participation, to make content that demeans women online for the sake of views. Okay. I don't care. If Caleb Hammer wants to make a video bullying a poor person or whatever for his financial audit channel and he's able to do that successfully and people are willing to watch it and he makes fun of women in the titles and thumbnails, I don't care. His viewers don't give a fuck either. But there is no amount of explanation that's going to make D'Angelo or D'Angelo's viewers think that this is okay because it's a non-starter. D'Angelo thinks it's objectively bad. There is no explanation that you could provide where D'Angelo would say this is a good thing. And it's okay because D'Angelo Wallace is on his YouTube live stream yapping channel telling you his thoughts on things. You have to stop trying to convince people who are ideologically opposed from you why your system works. Because they're never going to agree.
narratives and you're leaning into that to profit. Oh, okay. Well, the people in the videos said it was okay.
Dude, I asked for consent 5 times. Everything was accepted. Thank you. Thank you for that.
Okay.
Now, he would like that joke, but I think it's funny.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense, but like, dude, imagine if you had just put this out first and not done the whole 4-hour live stream, we wouldn't even be here. And I wouldn't be about to share your pedophile allegations that people were talking about, which I didn't even know. But you kicked up such a storm, so much dust that everybody started being like, hey, we've been trying to talk about.
Bro, Scott Schaefer is probably so fucking stoked right now because I imagine it's his video.
Caleb Hammer for a while now. There's some deeper stuff here. While I was streaming, I saw a couple people say, what about the pedo allegations? And I couldn't really respond to that because I didn't know what they were talking about. But let's get serious for a second, okay? I actually think that you probably...
Donation coming through?
You could have milked that so much harder. Big content strategy problems here, Nick. I'll help you maximize your money, all right?
Back down.
So many YouTubers have no idea how to respond to criticism.
Yeah.
Caleb is just the average YouTube response with no PR training.
So now D'Angelo...
75% of YouTubers are one bad day away from a low-cow meltdown.
This is like one of the biggest fucking power moves I've ever seen. D'Angelo Wallace was faced with a person threatening to sue him. So not only did he make a video doubling down, he now triples down and he puts himself in a position to say something stupid. I think that the lawsuit thing that Caleb has thrown has failed beyond... Like, I don't think anything has failed as hard as him threatening to sue D'Angelo Wallace. Every single thing that has happened after that has been completely catastrophic.
Down with the lawsuit stuff because you might have...
Also, I'm just pointing this out here. I don't think that there's any way that D'Angelo Wallace can, like... I guess... not fairly, but I don't think there's 5 minutes left in this video. I'm going to see what happens here.
Who I am, or
I'm just not expecting this to be very thorough.
Or what I've been known for saying on the internet about the people I've talked about. And you preemptively trying to reach out to me was probably so I didn't turn the video into this.
When I make jokes, a bunch of jokes with other people making a bunch of rage baiting jokes in a group chat.
Voice crack, not good.
From like a decade ago.
So I was like, okay, what jokes are we talking about here? You were in live chats. I guess this user super ho diddly ho would be Caleb screenshotting pictures of people saying he's hot, is he gay, please, being told he's 16 and no, perv, talking about.
See, this is what I'm talking about. This is the read that you're going to get from D'Angelo Wallace.
Oh, but the age of consent is 16. By the way, y'all are saying like, oh, this is from a decade ago. No, it wasn't. 8 years ago was not a decade ago. You're 23 years old.
You watched Scott Schaefer's video because that was a Scott Schaefer talking point. And I think that that is still stupid. Scott, he watched your video because that was you. I heard you in his voice right there.
Talking about kids like this, I would like to...
That was what, dude, that was like, he just got that. He watched your video and then made this video. Because that literally was out of Scott's mouth.
It's not a decade ago. You're 23 years old talking about kids like this. I would like to personally stick my penis in the hole of his. Any hole will do. Thank you. Being told, Caleb, dude, the person you're talking about is like 14. Caleb saying, nah, he's actually probably older than that. If it's legal to be with 17-year-olds there, it's legal here. Being told, Caleb, you're 23. This is gross. Not really. Well, I'm 50 and I find a sexy 21-year-old and I could be his sugar daddy. I will do it.
And again, what did I say when I covered this? I said, I am not going to tell everybody that this is definitively an edgy joke, because I don't fucking know. And if it turns out that Caleb Hammer does some other crazy fucking shit, and it gets exposed 3 years from now, they're going to pull up my live stream talking about Caleb Hammer and say that I must have known and I was sweeping and all this shit. So I said, look, if you want to take this badly, you could take this badly. To me, it looks like it's probably just disgusting, degenerate, gross out humor. But I don't fucking know, and I'm not hinging any of my reputation on these fucking DMs. That's what I said to Scott. That's what I'll say to D'Angelo Wallace.
Or her sugar daddy. By the way, I already know I'm gonna get the worst human beings you've ever known in my comments talking about actually being 23 and making sexual comments about 14-year-olds wouldn't be pedophilia, because technically, don't get me banned off YouTube, because what I want to say to you, I can't even say to you. People call these the pedo accusations, and it's pretty obvious why. You can call it what you want. I'm just telling you, why are you a grown man in here talking about, yeah, let's do all these things to these kids? Look, it goes on and on and on. Both my grandparents' sets are 10 years apart. 6 years is nothing. I would shove that, you know what, right down his.
And what I said when I watched this the first time is, if you're going to make pedo jokes, stop making yourself the pedophile. Because every time someone goes back and looks at your pedo joke, they just think you're a pedophile. It doesn't work well. Don't do it. It's a bad idea. If you're not joking, that's also, actually, that is seriously concerning.
So where it belongs, being told, well, it's.
There's an animal inside a lot of people who think it's a good idea to joke about being a pedophile in a venue such as plain text with no actual context. That is like, there's no physical performance of text messages. The only thing that happens when you joke about being a pedophile in text is that people who don't understand the context will just think that you're a pedophile. And there's nothing you could say to really disprove it.
Something if they're underage. Well, anyone under 16 is.
You just say like, no, I'm not.
Believe it or not, 7.
And that's not going to, like, that's going to cause you issues in the future, even if you're telling the truth.
17 is not under 16. And here's the part where I know I'm going to get people saying, well, D'Angelo, like, you're trying to ruin his career. You're doing the thing. I'm not trying to ruin his career. I'm not even suggesting that he broke the law. Caleb himself says if something is not against the law, there would be no trouble. This is literally like Shane Dawson like. Why are we acting like this was some sort of norm for jokes in 2018? Again, I want to show you his response.
When when I make jokes.
This is vile stuff. By the way, you've got hella people on the internet defending this. It's almost like the jokes are not as bad as actually being a pedo, even though idiots treat it as such. But can we acknowledge that the jokes are pretty bad, though? Like this person who said as a parent.
No, I think that if you find additional evidence that he is doing anything weird, I think these go from jokes to extremely bad red flag. I think you can write it off if it's an interaction from 8 years ago with nothing else that is like seriously pointing in that direction. But yeah, 100%. If Caleb Hammer ever gets accused, those are the first things they're gonna pop up immediately, and it'll be justified to look at them that way. In that context.
I see where you're coming from, but for me, it really depends on the quality of the jokes. These jokes barely even register as such. There's no setup, no real subversion of expectations. In the screenshots, it looks like Caleb sent pictures of actual kids that he claimed he thought were hot and made explicit comments about what he wanted to do with them sexually while other chat members were telling him to stop. Yes, that's what is in those screenshots. Why is there a comment section full of Reddit? Well, I'm answering my own question, even as I'm asking.
I don't think anyone's calling him James Charles. Okay, but I don't think that James Charles should be your entry-level metric. That guy accidentally, and we're being charitable here in case there's any legal entities watching me, sexted like 15 people. That should not be your entry-level take in bad, you know? This happened, like, that was too many times, you know?
The easiest thing to do would have been to just be like, that wasn't.
If this was James Charles and those messages were James Charles, then those messages would not be even considered as jokes, considering that James Charles has the history of James Charles. You understand?
Nicholas,
in those group,
the goat. Yeah. Thank you for the $5
chats, but by talking about it, he seems to have confirmed.
You know what I mean?
That this was in fact real. This is from a video seemingly.
Hey, I called it, Scott. That's Scott Schaefer.
That came out over a year ago. Actually, almost 2 years ago. Has 140,000 views. You got people in the comments of this guy.
Someone tried to fight me about this. He watched Scott Schaefer.
Guy's second video about Caleb talking about someone tell D'Angelo immediately this is about to blow up. Wait, I like this comment. No, D'Angelo was supposed to do
I'm glad that because it sounded like he just ripped that talking point straight out of the video. He might not have, to be fair, but it clicked in my head that that was from Scott. So it's cool that he showed Scott's video.
Proper research himself.
When he took that, I think maybe, potentially.
Oh, this is not hard to find. I would like to address that if I can. It's actually super depressing to treat every single person I talk about as some sort of possible Shane Dawson and just immerse myself in trash. I think my early content that I made was important and I'm really proud of it, but also please give me some grace to not constantly make content that makes me want to die. But I'll tell you right now, this information is online. The original post that I did include in my video as a point about Caleb's complete misunderstanding of consent, you have multiple people in the comments saying that they've had the same experience with him, saying they know people who've had the same experience with him. After my...
Now, the issue that I have here, and I will defend a little bit, when you look at this post, where is it coming from?
That makes me want to die. But I'll tell you right now, this information is online. The original post that I did include in my video as a point about Caleb's complete misunderstanding of consent.
Which, by the way, I don't entirely hate the post after seeing what Caleb said in response to it, but like, the people in the comment section
who've had the same experience with him, after saying that they've had the same experience with him.
Okay, but where is this being posted? Is this not a Snark subreddit?
Complete misunderstanding of consent. You have multiple
The only reason I'm asking about the Snark subreddit stuff is I know that, like, D'Angelo, because I've watched D'Angelo's content recently. I've, like, actually seen a couple of his streams. I know that he's literally gone on rants about, like, the Snark people who have been fucking saying a bunch of shit about him. Now, it's not exactly the same thing, to be clear, but I wouldn't necessarily just go believe every non-verified chatter, I guess.
People in the comments.
Yeah, like I have a friend who spoke to who had her boundaries pushed by Caleb. It's like I don't know if this is really where I'm getting that.
Saying that they've had the same experience.
Yeah, the Starbucks video.
With him, saying they know people.
So I think that's a little bit shoot from the hippie. I wouldn't do that.
People who've had the same experience with him. After my live stream, you had people reaching out to me in my business.
The post is verifiable. This post is verifiable, or the top post is verifiable.
You have multiple.
I'm not arguing that. I'm arguing George Bush did 7-Eleven, where there are 2 comments here. And if you're going to tell me that this post is verifiable, do you think that D'Angelo Wallace, who didn't even read the entirety of the post in the video, has spoken to George Bush did 7-Eleven and got confirmation that the friend has also had their boundaries pushed by Caleb Hammer? That's what I'm saying. Is like you could probably, but I just assume he's reading this and going, yeah, it looks like other people are sharing their stories and threw that in.
People in the comments saying that they've had the same experience with him.
Not the comments. Yeah, that's my point. Is that I don't really like that argument, considering that he's acknowledged the Snark subreddits can push a lot of bullshit.
Saying they know people who've had the same experience.
Or just Snark in general.
With him. After my...
I said top post. Okay, I'm sorry.
Live stream.
Yeah, but that was the part that I was fixating on.
You had people reaching out to me in my business email just trying to tell me, thank you for this live stream, and talking about him. He was pressuring me into doing this stuff. He was doing this that made me uncomfortable, etc. And people have been trying to say this for years. I showed you the chats. There's also a bunch of other things that people get into. I'm not going to spend the rest of the video going into these allegations bit by bit, because much of my early content was really depressing for me to make, and it was almost an exercise in mental self-harm, if I'm being honest with you. My addendum, my amendment is that there's also a bunch of other things that could be talked about with Caleb Hammer. People have already made these videos. They're on the platform. You can watch those. But yeah, this guy is just like, I'm out of energy now. And I'm sorry. I wasn't even really supposed to be working yesterday. It was my day off. I just wanted to put that video out. That way I could get this video together, try to draw some attention to the other things people are saying about him. But honestly, the content that I'm posting right now is genuinely the best I can do. And no wonder he freaked out so hard. I kept trying to figure out, like, why was he reacting this way? Why was it reacting?
I still don't know why, to be honest, because he's already dealt with that multiple times. I think that he's just bad at this. I think he's bad in a live setting, and I think he just keeps freaking out.
This way. This explains it.
I think he needs to quit streaming.
If you're worried that everyone's going to find out on a bigger level about the pedo chats, well, they just did.
Holy
Nicholas, the
fuck.
goat. Thank you for the $5, my man.
Holy fuck. Who just told me to cut this off? That is an insane way to end this video. Wow. No, dude, fucking wow. Okay. Scott, don't you go clapping, bro. He didn't even have an entire segment that Caleb Hammer was faking being gay. It could have been a way better video.
Find out on a bigger level about the pedo chats.
Dude, I gotta watch that again. That's crazy.
Well, they just did.
Oh my god. Fuck me, dude. Never show us another D'Angelo video. Like, I get that you guys like don't like his cadence or whatever, but I mean, I don't know. I think he's fairly decent at this. I'm sorry. I don't even agree with him. I don't even agree with him on a lot of the things that he said at the beginning of this video. They call other people snowflakes and they break down the moment they receive any pushback. I mean, this is Caleb Hammer. That was Caleb Hammer today. And in a lot of other streaming related situations. Now that we've cooled out when he was the only one yelling, I consent to my autistic child being called the R slur. I mean, dude, what are we doing here? It's a medical term. It's not a slur. Uses it as an insult 42 times.
Kessel's tweet. On
I mean, he's getting his fucking ass chewed out in the chat.
Why bring up the allegations if you're not going to cover them? Poisoning the well?
So here's the problem, Dylan. He did it at the end. The poisoning the well implies that he did it at the beginning. If he opened it and said, hey guys, I'm going to prove that Caleb Hammer is a pedophile or something as his intro, please don't sue me. You understand the context. I know you do. Then that would be poisoning the well. But he didn't do that. He systematically broke down Caleb Hammer and then said, oh, you know what else? And then he started going after the fucking... He pulled up the messages. That's not poisoning the well. Caleb was like already sent to pasture before that even started. They call other people snowflakes, but then break down the moment they receive any pushback. Now that yeah, okay. I can sense. Yeah, okay. I read that one already. His whole video is everyone on my payroll agrees with me. You're gonna accuse me of being a bigot. Uses a slur immediately. Yeah, Caleb should be using his unlimited money on a therapist. Oh my god. Oh my god. You're using my name to get views. It's hilarious because I can't be the only one who has never heard of him even up until the last video. The fact that Caleb is yelling fuck you, fuck you, fuck you, while the other two hosts just look down at their computers and wait for it to be over. This is such a fucking healthy response to a very unhinged response. D'Angelo, you don't understand the impact of your words. Man who uses slurs, misogynistic rhetoric, and makes... Okay. But, like, this is what you're getting in this community. Like, you can't... This is a person who will not be convinced by anything that Caleb Hammer says about his titles and thumbnails. It is not worth it to fight. You just do not... Just assume Fluffy Phoenix will not be watching. And then go on with all of the trillions of dollars that you claim that you're making on your show, and ignore that Fluffy Phoenix is not going to be watching your show. Because apparently things are so fucking good, it doesn't matter if 50 Fluffy Phoenixes watch your fucking show. You know? I can't help but notice the visible discomfort on the co-host and... Okay. We're doing a little, the unlimited money. Unlimited money! You know who didn't consent to being called slurs? D'Angelo. So his crash out further proved D'Angelo's point. I feel like the point was about, like, sexual consent, but I don't know. D'Angelo, it pisses me off about your videos that every once in a while you do a complete visual aesthetic overhaul and change everything from your set and thumbnails, and no matter what, it always looks better than anything I've ever done. Glaze, 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 glaze. Nobody ever even cares about you. You don't understand the impact. Nobody even cares about you. You don't understand the impact that your words can have. Is very funny too. Yeah. He was just kind of spitting. Like he was throwing in every direction. Yeah, I don't know. His assistant saying that you're lighter than his friend. Did she say that? Did the assistants? I didn't hear that part, and I feel like D'Angelo would have included it. Why are you guys telling me about the new pirate software drama? I guess if there's nothing, we can cover it, but I don't really give a fuck about pirate software. I wasn't the people who grinded 700 videos on that one. But if they wanted to, that's totally fine. Saying I could retire right now while still charging 1K for financial advice is really telling. Yeah, I don't know. Ooh. Yeah, that was Caleb Hammer's threatening legal action against D'Angelo Wallace. Let's see what YouTube drama was thinking. Defamation is a high bar. I think it would be hard to prove actual malice or even false statements of fact. Quick rundown. D'Angelo went on stream and discussed Caleb Hammer and his controversies. I don't need the rundown. Not my D'Angelo Wallace in the YouTube drama sub. Get a job. Stay away from her. Demi Lovato. Has Caleb Hammer learned nothing from Barbara Streisand? What? He's doing... Okay, I don't know what's happening here. Is that what they call it, the Streisand effect? Is it about Barbara Streisand? I don't know. I never knew that. Okay. People understand that in the US, truth is a defense against slander, right? I was in a stream chat yesterday, and everything he said was clearly an opinion. Like, it wasn't even a classic. This person is scamming their audience, allegedly. It was basically the words this guy said. Yeah, I mean, that's what we just saw. That's just not... Fucking... I clicked on an ad again. God damn it, Reddit. I watched a bit of Caleb's live stream response last night so you could figure out what he's actually trying to say in between his incessant screeching and pausing every 3 seconds to brag about how amazing he is. Caleb's main point seems to be that the guests on his show consent to being made fun of, so there's no reason to criticize him for it, and he's completely missing the point. Consent from an individual guest does not absolve Caleb of responsibility for the broader cultural impact for the content he produces. The consent determines whether an interaction is ethical between two individuals, does not determine whether the resulting content is ethical when broadcast to millions. Now, again, the answer to this is, I don't make my content for you. I don't make my content for millions. I make my content for people who find it entertaining, and the people who don't are free to not watch it. I do not care about the cultural impact of my content. I'm not here to save the world. I'm here to make entertaining content for the people who want to watch. Bazinga. But again, that doesn't hit as well as... I literally have my fucking guests come out here and sign a consent form. I asked them 5 times. Everything was accepted. You can't criticize me for this because I got consent to do it and I did nothing wrong and you're just mad and you're a clout chaser and I make $50 million and my course is a really good deal and I'm not mad at all right now, but I'm going to call a black man and he's going to tell me that I've done nothing wrong. And oh, dude. Creators with large platforms shape cultural norms in a way they intend to or not. Okay. But I don't care. And D'Angelo Wallace says you can't cancel me for not caring. Because you can't even cancel Codeco. So I don't care. And not even that this person would even try to... I don't even know. My point is, I don't care. Do something about it. You can't. Because I don't share this viewpoint with you. Dismissing criticism this way avoids engaging with the real concern. Well, it's not my real concern. It's your concern. It's not about whether or not the guest agrees to be mocked. It's about how normalizing this kind of rhetoric contributes to a culture that treats marginalized people as punchlines. Okay, that's totally fine, and you're welcome to not watch it. I just wish that... I don't know. I just wish that we could just engage with this in like a rational way, but then Caleb Hammer just screams for 4 hours about how he got consent. This is only slightly related, but a good example of the influencer effect is the Toyota Prius. So many car magazines and blogs and personalities made fun of the Prius that it developed a public image that reflected those that are quite a small number of people that were saying about it. Before long, everybody was parroting the car's people views. Nowadays, that's all over, and the Prius is just a car. I mean, I still think no, okay, you've just navigated around your circles. People still get made fun of for driving a Prius. You just don't hang out with those people, which is fine. And I don't think there's anything inherently bad with driving a Toyota car. But no, people still make jokes about being a Prius. You're just in an echo chamber. I love my Prius. I love your Prius for you, okay? But I don't know. Also, there's nothing inherently wrong with making a joke about the type of people who own a car, okay? You call my... I assume it's you. I don't know if Xander Cat is the one doing it, okay? I'm just... People say that my car is the swastika because Elon Musk Heiled Hitler or something on stage, and I bought a red one. Okay? So, I feel like you're allowed to make jokes about your Prius. You know, it's fine. Right? They were, like, hitting examples
Nicholas,
of my car with, like,
the
hammers,
goat.
right?
Thank you for the $5, my man.
The red one is cool. The ultra red color is cool, and everybody has a white one. I didn't know that it was going to be the red swastika when I bought it. Clear. But yeah, I don't know. Ultra red's a good fucking color. I have a little mini one over there. I like it. Good luck providing damages, Caleb, you absolute specimen. Nick Cope, whoa. Listen, if there's one thing that I have done since I've got on YouTube that I absolutely do not regret, regret at all whatsoever, it is the Tesla. The Tesla is literally the most fun car I have ever driven. I haven't driven a shitload of cars, to be clear, so you can call me on that. But full self-driving is fucking crazy. Not wanting to drive, being able to click a button, and trust that I will be in my fucking driveway is literally... unfortunately, I do think that Tesla is trying to get out of the car industry, so I can't be a fucking customer for life. But I think as these other competing companies start to design this stuff, that's going to be something that I look for when purchasing cars in the future, is the enhanced autopilot features and stuff that these companies are building right now. Because I literally do not want a car that can't drive me if I'm bored and I don't feel like driving. Are you saying your car is streamer friendly? No, actually it's not. You know why? Because it yells at you and pulls over if you keep looking at the chat. It's not even streamer friendly. No, because if you look at the chat, it will just pull over. Or it will stop. Because it's full self-driving supervised. If you're not paying attention, then it just stops. You can't do it. And I like that feature. And ever since I got this, I used to like fucking look down at my phone a lot. In my old car, and that was like a shitty habit. That's worse than a shitty habit. And now the car yells at you if you do that, so it's broken me from that habit entirely. And I use voice commands for anything that I actually have to control. And when I have full self-driving on, because I'm looking around and stuff, I am more aware of my surroundings because I can just look around and I'm not focusing on maintaining speed. I'm not focusing on thinking about where I'm going. I'm just looking around, and if anybody's doing any weird shit, I could take control of the car and change my lane, or I can click a button and the car will change my lane anyway. You will not, like, I don't know if you've driven in New York before, but I think it's fairly, it happens about once per week where some asshole, it doesn't matter what time of the day it is clearly drinking and driving. All right, or they're tired. I don't know. They're like fucking swerving through the lane, and they're getting to the left, and then they're getting to the right,
Nicholas,
and they're going back to the left.
Thank you for the
so they're going back to the right.
Man.
And if I was just driving the car, I might not have picked up on this, and then that asshole might have just fucking driven right into the left lane and crashed into me. But I do see it because I could be more aware. I don't know. I like it. I like it a lot.